So here's some price for Friday, October 31st. Happy Halloween 2025 presentation of Bet365. Coming to you from the Pacific Toyota Dealer Studio here at the historic Wall Center. Visit shoptoyota.ca or visit your local Pacific Toyota dealer today. Mansa Harris with Blake Price, four-time Juno Award winner Mike Rogerson, hitting switches and conducting things. We have a gigantic show for you today because so much is going on.
Scary good. Scary big. And Matt is dressed as Trey Savage today. I'm dressed as a...
Trey does have a little bit of a
podcaster.
Frankenstein look to him now, doesn't he? Terrifying out there on the mound.
Intimidating.
I know yours are too old now to trick or treat.
Mm-hmm.
And I know your better half delights in children, loves being around children. So do you get to escape door duties today, sit there and watch the baseball game blissfully and not have to concern yourself with the knocking and ringing of trick-or-treaters?
I've been scared shitless over hosting a high school party tomorrow, so that's the
Oh my gosh.
fear in my...
Didn't you just host a party?
Other kid.
This is the other one. So one gets the party at home, the other one wants one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what, 17-year-olds tomorrow?
Grade 12s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are, I think, maybe smarter, better than the grade 10s. Remains to be seen. It's a challenge.
I got first of all, if I had to man the door tonight, my plan was huge bowl of candy on the front porch, note on the door, kids, love you, but please do not disturb the residents. No knocking, no bell ringing. There's a baseball game to watch.
I think Mother Nature's a baseball fan.
For sure, at least in this part of the world.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll be bothered.
It's so often the case, though, that it rains on Halloween here. I mean, it's the rain season.
I actually think, considering our November reputation, I actually think it's actually, we get away with it more often than we should, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Because it should be hell on earth every year. Like, this is our worst time of the year.
Now, I do know you have nieces and nephews who are trick-or-treating, presumably, tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mrs. Price out with them?
I don't know. I have not.
You haven't even investigated this.
It's not my category.
Well, no, but Blake, if you don't speak up and try and organize things, things will be organized for you, sometimes to your detriment.
No,
like if they have grand plans on a massive trick-or-treat where they say, honey, can you watch the door all night? North Van, a lot of children. Like,
If anything, with this last 2 months, it's been just a tremendous fall sports season. If it's taught them anything, it is...
Dad's unavailable?
Dad is unavailable.
Okay.
Dad is watching TV tonight.
Yeah, not to be disturbed.
Like a job. As a job.
Well,
Actual
job. It is your job.
Yeah.
Mike, you got trick-or-treaters? Are you on door duty? Is Mason taking care of door duty? What's going on?
I will be at the Tap and Barrel.
That's right.
And same deal, big bowl out front if you want it.
There you go.
Take it.
First come, first serve. And usually the first comes and serves the whole bowl.
There's always those houses that do that. There's the ones that are dark, and they're like my grandparents often came to our house when the kids were younger.
Oh, that's right. You have grandparents available to you.
So their houses were often dark. This year, I wonder if there's going to be an inordinately high amount of dark houses.
Yeah.
Because the way that you can get past all this guilt is just be like, no, we're going out for dinner though. We're going to the whatever. Mm-hmm. Choose your watering hole. We're just not going to be there. You don't have to hide in the back.
Yeah. I think that's probably right. I also think there will be an inordinate amount of baseball players showing up at the door tonight.
Maybe.
Who are you? I'm Vladdy. I'm Trey.
But you know what the costume of the season is, though. Louvre heisters.
Oh, okay. I saw a great costume on social today. The guy dressed as Noel Gallagher from Oasis, and his lady dressed as a cell phone with the message, "You are 280,000 in the queue."
Oh,
For
okay.
Oasis tickets.
Yeah.
It's good. That's creative. That's inventive. The big question is, what will David Quadrelli dress as for Canucks Conversation coming up? David throws himself into Halloween. He loves him some Halloween.
Has he done Harry Potter yet? To me, he's just a custom designed Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The Redwoods Golf Course poll question today: what should the Canucks do with Kiefer Sherwood? Re-sign immediately or wait it out? You can vote at the Sekerson Price X and YouTube channels. Hat trick last night. We'll get more into it in a moment. Plays 24-plus minutes. Registers the 4 hits, 5 shots. And his head coach was singing his praises after the fact. Let's hear from Adam Foote before we tackle the poll. Here's Coach.
He's a motor. He goes. He loves the game. What I love about him is early in the season he was good and then got off real quick too. His emotions were in play, and our coaches, our forward coaches did a good job just talking to him, going, "You control 20%. You're gonna have some fun here." And he listened to them, and they worked together as a group. And you see he's on fire right now. His emotions probably got him in the league. How he plays with that fire, and now when they're under control, he's been very effective out there with his speed and his resilience.
He's been amazing. He's been. Where would the Canucks be without Kiefer Sherwood? Because he's not even one of those guys where you can say, well, if it wasn't him, somebody else would have been in that role. No, because he's got a particular skill set. Like, there's not a lot of other super fast, physically able players on the Canucks. Mm-hmm. This isn't a guy who's feasted on the power play. He's got a couple power play goals, but he's not just a shooter in the circle that, if it wasn't him, somebody else would be taking those shots. No. He's created a lot of these goals with his speed. Not that easy.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, the comment about 20%, huh? That they just wanted him to dial it back a little bit and get more out of him?
Well, I think we saw that early part of the last season when the hits were racking up at such a furious rate. They were like, it almost seems like that's the goal for him rather than the goals are the goal for him.
It's almost like that became identity.
Yeah.
And really, that is identity. But I think the talk about the record probably got to him as well.
But it's an easy thing to dial back. 20% of 6,000 hits is still a pretty high amount of hits. It wasn't 6,000, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes. And goals more valuable than hits. I know we've got people who love physical hockey who doesn't, but goals are the object of this game.
10 hits versus 4 goals, the 4 goals wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes people will go to hits in an evaluation, and you're like, no. But goals. The best thing to describe that is who has the puck in a hit. Yeah, exactly.
Not you.
Not the hitter.
No.
So here's where I'm at on the poll. He's an ascending asset, and the wise course of action when you're managing a pro sports franchise is that you lock up an ascending asset before they continue to ascend and their price increases. Now, in Sherwood's case...
Yes, but date of birth is a little bit different here.
In Sherwood's case, he's an ascending asset that's 30 years old. You don't see a lot of this.
Nope.
I mean, we were looking at Alex Burrows today in terms of when he became a National Hockey Leaguer and when he sort of took off as a National Hockey Leaguer, a top 6 guy, because he's another underdog story who had a lot of time in the minors like Sherwood. But, Burr was 27 when he really kicked it into NHL gear.
Played the whole season as a 27-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Sherwood's 30.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be very careful on term here if you're the Vancouver Canucks. Ideally, you don't want to go more than 4 years because 4 years actually gets him to his 35th birthday in March if you resign him. He's a UFA to be, of course. Mm-hmm. 4 years is ideal. I think if you get pushed, maybe 5.
I'm not signing him for 5 years.
Okay, fair enough. 4 years in today's environment with an escalating salary cap. Let's remember that. But an escalating salary cap this past summer where GMs at large showed a fair amount of discipline. Like they left a lot of cap space on the table this summer, did not cave on players like Jack Roslovic, Pius Suter, and others.
Matt, if Kiefer Sherwood had done this season last year and was a free agent, let's say he finishes with 30 goals, and he went into the summer, this past summer, as a free agent, I don't think he gets more than $5 million. I really don't. I think that who's getting the money in the escalated salary cap world is the stars. We are seeing sort of the elimination of the middle class a little bit.
A little bit.
There's, again, we have to watch how we describe lower class players here. They're making $4 and $5 million a season. Oh, to be a lower class NHL player. But, a guy like with his resume doesn't get $6-7 million, despite a lot of 30 goal scorers getting that number. That's not him. Not with his resume and date of birth.
AFP Analytics, who does the contract projections, and obviously, a player goes out and scores a bunch of goals in a concentrated period of time, then, this is going to look a little bit different. But they were projecting 3 by 2.75 for Sherwood. 3-year deal at 2.75.
Usually it has a publishing date. Do you see when that was last refreshed?
Let me see that, actually.
I wonder if
I don't have that.
If it includes any weeks of this year. It's 3 years, $2.75 million.
Yes, 3 years, $2.75 million. 2.65% of the cap.
Of course, they're going no problem signing that deal.
No, of course not. Yeah. Now, the other complication on the Sherwood file, not just his, age and how long you're willing to go on the term.
That was from the summer, by the way.
Okay.
There you go.
So needless to say, it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
The other thing, the other complication here is, of course, the Vancouver Canucks season itself. Because right now you're 500, you're on the cusp of the playoffs with 8 regulars out. And it was nearly 10 with guys leaving the game last night. But if this season is going nowhere and you are a seller at the trade deadline, and let's just for a moment pause, and you would have to be significantly out of it to be a seller, because if you're close, Francesco is going to want Alvin and Rutherford to either add or stay the course, because he's not going to want to have to acknowledge and admit that this is another failed season and that playoff revenue is gone in the first week of March. That's not how this franchise operates, as we saw last year at the deadline. So you are going to have to be out of it, I think, by a good amount. Boy, is that an attractive trade asset. Kiefer Sherwood at $1.5 million. We saw how well he played for the Nashville Predators against the Canucks in the playoffs a couple of seasons. I mean, that is built for the playoffs, and particularly if he's on a 25, 30-goal season, something like that. I mean, that's a first-round pick plus, I would think.
I mean, this is a narrow path, but is there a center-heavy team out there that wants to get cap space to get so-and-so and so-and-so? Like, what I'm saying is, could Kiefer Sherwood be a player in a centerman deal?
Potentially.
It'd have to be a pretty unique scenario for the other team.
But what I'm saying is if this season is going to pot, or perhaps more accurately has gone to pot, and that is clear to everybody, including the hard-headed owner by the deadline, folks, we could be in a world where they're trading Quinn Hughes. Doubt it. I would think that Francesco would be like, no, let me talk to him. I'll convince him over the summer. I'll fly to Michigan and, all that shit. But if Quinn lets it be known to the Canucks, look, I'm just sorry, this isn't a contender. I'm not interested in re-signing here long term in July when he's eligible. You could be very well looking at pieces that could ignite the next incarnation of the Vancouver Canucks team, and dare I say, even a rebuild.
I don't think that
Again,
happens.
We're a long way from there.
I don't think that happens at the deadline, though. I think Quinn Hughes is a Vancouver Canuck through this year.
Oh, I think so. That's probably right.
Yeah.
But if the season's going to hell, Blake, you're in March at the deadline, understanding that in June and July you may have to make that tough decision, right?
But if Kiefer Sherwood gets you a first-round pick at the deadline, boy, oh boy. Got to think about it.
By the same token, I just love the way he plays. I love his story. I love the way he competes. I think he's a great example for young Canucks players, and we know there's a number of them on the team this year. 4 years at $5 million too. That's awfully rich, but that's a $20 million deal. I'm not sure I'm signing that right now, but that may be where I'm willing to go over the next couple of months if this keeps up for Sherwood. I waited out begrudgingly, but if the term is right, and late bloomers like this tend to sign a little quicker, they tend to be tempted a little more. We saw this with Burrows in the 4-year, $8 million, $2 million per year, best contract in the NHL deal they signed. This profile of player, remember, has not made the huge money in his 20s like many others, and so they tend to be a little more tempted by the dangling carrot of a multi-year deal at huge bucks. 4x4, I'm signing it right now, Blake, but going forward, I could go 4x5 if this keeps up.
3x4 or 4x3, that's the richest I'm getting.
Yeah, I don't think that gets it done.
Probably not.
No. Okay. Our friends at the Redwoods specialize in custom corporate events and can even include a golf element to it. If you're looking for some lessons, they have the wonderful heated covered driving range. You can incorporate that into your event, not to mention a food and beverage component after the fact, plus private, semi-private lessons available for children ages 6 to 16, flexible to your schedule. Set your kids up for the sport of a lifetime and get them learning golf with Craig, the PGA of Canada teaching professional out there at the Redwoods. Go to redwoods-golf.com. Let's get to today's top story. It's brought to you by Yellow Dog Neighborhood, as well as Foolish Winery. Sherwood shines. Kane and Lankinen step up just when they and the club needed it. And the Canucks still haven't fallen 2 games below 500 after a 4-3 shootout win in St. Louis. Hat-trick for Sherwood has him tied for the NHL lead in goals at 9. He's tied with 6 other players. There are some unusual names there. Wouldn't have had Morgan Geekie amongst the goal leaders in the NHL, nor the Vegas Russian. Goes to show it's still early. Also unusual, Sherwood has no assists on the campaign.
Yes.
More on that in our Uber Eats Crave the Stats, as well as he has scored all 5 goals against the St. Louis Blues this year. They've played the Blues twice. He had a 2-goal effort on that Thanksgiving matinee Monday.
That is peculiar.
And he has all 3 last night in advance of the shootout.
You don't get to play the Blues every other week.
That's too bad.
It's the unfortunate thing for him.
There is something about Kiefer Sherwood and the Blues.
So really he's got 4 goals this season. Is that what you're telling me? That's what I'm hearing. He's got 4 goals.
Jim Montgomery will be quite happy not to see the Canucks for a while after that. Let's hear from him. Here's Sherwood on a gutsy win and his hat trick.
Yeah, it just makes us more hungry. It's next man up mentality we've been saying all along, and obviously there's some big losses there, but just try to hold the fort down until they can get back, and just keep it simple and keep plugging away.
Well, a hat trick for yourself tonight as well. You're second in your career. What was working for you in this game?
Just try to get open, use my shot, and just try to get open and play off. We had a lot of different line combos throughout, so just try to get open and just stick to the details, I guess, and execute.
Canucks 6-6 through 12 games to end October.
Which is honestly, Matt, when you think about what has happened to them, you have to give them a little golf clap there. Like, that's actually not that bad considering.
No. They're 3-0 beyond regulation after bleeding 14 points beyond 3 periods last year. You may remember how dreadful they were in overtime last year. They are 1 point back of a playoff spot with 2 teams to jump in the West.
Somebody on Twitter, I don't think they were responding to me or elsewhere, drew up what the Canucks lines would look like in the rare case of full health.
Wait a second. Full health?
Yes. And I looked at it.
Trick
And
a treat.
It rarely does happen to any team. So it is a bit of a fool's errand to do. But the way they had it drawn up, I mean, the cup did runneth over a little bit. Like they had Evander Kane on the 4th line, for God's sakes, because of the way they drew it all up. And it was Höglander back in the lineup, Hedl, Garland, all that sort of stuff. You know, like they aren't a bad team if everything is going right. On paper, at least. The question is, can they get even remotely close to that? If you can get remotely close to full health, they're a much better team. They really are. But goodness knows if that's possible, especially with the second line center position.
Well, that's the big one.
But the wingers, yeah.
That is absolutely the big one. Lankinen gives up a stinker to Dylan Holloway to begin the game, but the Canucks get it back, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. But the one, Blake, that I'm sitting there going, oh, is the Snuggerud 2-1 goal early in the second period, a minute into the second period. And I say that because now this is the second soft goal of the game, and it's also, Blake, one of those mid-danger chances we talked about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to blame the goaltender very much on the high-danger chances. They are going to save a slim percentage of those, or a slimmer percentage of those, and that's canon. That's something we all understand, goals that you don't put on your goaltender. You, of course, have to blame them on the low percentage goals, but it's the mid-chance, mid-danger goals where he has really struggled this year. And you're going to accept that some of those are going to go in, but you need more saves than goals against in those scenarios. And I understand Snuggerud's a good shooter. Jimmy Snipes and all is his nickname. But boy, there's a lot of net showing to the far post there, and Snuggerud hits it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, a minute in, after losing Boeser in the first period and getting back even, that's one that just can't go in. And especially with so few goals in the Canucks lineup, I think we talked was 19 goals that were in the lineup to start. I'm sitting there thinking that could be it. Like that one could be the backbreaker. Well, and of course, if he loses that start last night, and we talked about it yesterday, is Lankinen going down She Loves Boulevard here where he's losing the confidence of his coach and you can't use him as much, and now it's more reliance on Thatcher Demko.
1-4 would have been pretty damning.
Oh, no doubt.
Particularly, I mean, if he was to lose last night, it would have been a 4-3, so it would have been 4 goals allowed. He's 1-4.
But even if they lose
great.
the game 2-1, even if the Snuggerud, you go, okay, well, 2 goals against isn't that bad, but they're both bad goals.
But if the game had played out the same way, I mean, he faced almost 40 shots.
No, he makes 36 saves. I mean, he settled down beautifully after the Snuggerud goal.
It was a step forward. It was.
Yes.
His save percentage rises to 885. If he can win a game 3-1 or 4-1 here coming up, that save percentage is going to be at 900. And you just want him to be in the 9s. If he's in the 9s, you can bet the winning percentage will be at worst 500, and the Canucks are going to have a chance.
He stops all 3 St. Louis shooters in the shootout.
Well, Braden Shen
Wow,
stopped himself. Jim
It's actually-
Montgomery was
it's a-
slow burn after that one.
Does that count as a save in the shootout? When a player just mishandles the puck?
I mean, they don't count saves; they count successful attempts. So,
can we bring up the tweet there, Mike? So he's now the most successful goaltender in history against the shootout. In the shootout, he stopped 38 of 44 shootout attempts. Again, stop being a very liberal word for
Yes.
what Braden Shen did last night.
That's helpful.
That's very helpful.
Would
Galaxy Brain question for you.
subbing him in for Demko shootouts?
Just saying.
Did you notice Demko's also top 5, as is Eddie Lack, all time?
Really?
Yeah, so there's your reason why you wouldn't do that. You got the warm goaltender who's also can hold his own.
Thanks, Mike, for answering the question.
Yeah.
Wondering if
Saving
it's
us
a
from an
Ian
E&O.
Clark. Ian Clark thing.
It could be an Ian Clark
It
thing.
could be any Clark thing, yeah.
Mike, are you a goalie guy? Are you a closet goalie guy?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. It's the one thing no,
You just happen upon that.
but it's on my screen.
But that tracks for Demko. I've never felt like I needed to be
No.
critical of Demko in a shootout,
No.
so that tracks.
Evander Kane gets his first goal as a Vancouver Canuck, but it's wiped out on a challenge for goaltender interference.
A horrible call.
Horseshit call.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I didn't think it was goaltender interference. It was very soft. Secondly, it met the burden for overturning the call on the ice. And then thirdly, it took forever. I went to the kitchen. I fixed a snack. I came back. They were still deliberating.
It sounds like it was the
How
stick.
can it take that long, Blake? You look at these baseball challenges. In some cases, we're talking a matter of like 12 to 15 seconds.
No, it's wonderful.
And the umpire is reporting the decision.
It sounds like it was the stick of McEachern that was the offending action, not him stepping into the blue paint after he brushed by the goalie initially, which is good because I was going to lose my mind about that part because the goalie was out of the blue and it was just incidental contact. McEachern stumbles behind him, recollects himself, gets outside the blue, and in doing so, just with the jostling, the stick ever so briefly may have grazed the mask.
Yeah, that is not goaltender interference. Like, that is something that I understand that becomes a judgment call and a gray area and something that the referees don't really want to have to make the call on. It is easier for them if it's a black and white rule. It is easier for the league if it's a black and white rule. But we're now into Brett Hull skate in the crease territory, right?
But it's also burden of proof. You have to prove beyond it to overturn. Not to hold up, but to overturn. That's the bigger burden.
Yes.
And there was nothing there.
Come on. That's just getting it wrong, guys.
It's too bad.
It's not goaltender interference when a stick graces the goaltender. That is something that a goaltender has to fight through.
It's honestly something that I think all these sports, that burden of proof of overturning something on the pitch, on the ice, whatever field we're talking about, I felt like that has generally clarified video review across the sports because, like, knowing that you now have to go have like, there's so many calls in baseball. We saw this with a place where the first baseman's foot is covering sort of the view of the foot of the runner, and you can surmise that the runner got there first, but you don't have the proof. So to overturn the call, you have to, like, to me, there's no surmising anymore. You can't guess whether or not. It has to have evidence.
Goaltender's glove over a puck did it cross the goal line.
We know that it did, but there's no proof of it.
Right.
Ergo, you cannot.
It's the appropriate standard.
Yes. To me, that's clarified all of these sports decisions.
Yeah. Like,
And then
if you
see
got
that.
the world's best lawyers to draw up what's the appropriate standard for sports going to video review and changing calls, I think that's what they would come up with.
100%.
It's the appropriate standard.
And that was not it last night.
Exactly. But so, well, know the standard. Now it's about adhering to the standard. I feel like Seinfeld in the reservation counter. And I didn't.
The stick was in the vicinity. It may or may not have caused any disruption to
Sorry,
him.
that is
It's a lot
not
of guesswork.
proof enough. No. That's not good enough. Okay, so no matter Evander Kane's first goal as a Vancouver Canuck is wiped out on a
It was an
board.
Evander Kane-ish goal, though. That was the good sign.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
like
and he
that's-
creates the first goal on his forecheck.
Yeah.
It was his best night yet as a Vancouver Canuck and offers some hope that management did not make the wrong decision in acquiring him over re-signing Pius Suter. His 5 primary assists tied for second in the league. And speaking of Suter, of course, the former Canuck scores late to force overtime, one of 2 power play goals for the Blues.
And Evander Kane's underlying stats matched what that looked like. It looked like he played better. The underlying stats
were they magnificent?
68% Corsi 4 is pretty darn good.
Yeah, because we were talking about the underlines with Evander yesterday, and the offensive side of the puck, not bad. Like, you could argue it's puck luck that he didn't have a goal yet and didn't have more than 4 assists. The defensive side was just dreadful, and I think that did meet
expected goals differential, so goals for expected, goals against, but still on the plus side, top 5 in the team.
Other thing I'll say, I want to note, I know they won the game. We did the Suter v. Evander Kane poll question yesterday. We're going to move on and not necessarily dwell on that or on Suter. Canucks are 71.4 on the PK. It's 24th in the league. Now, St. Louis is dreadful too. St. Louis's goaltending has been dreadful this year. I continue to have worries about the Vancouver Canucks PK unit. It was 3rd in the league last year. It took an awful lot of work to get it there. It was finally something the Canucks could feel good about, like they had achieved something after years of being dreadful.
Well, preseason in the first few games was very good. It's just been the last
hasn't been good since.
The last few weeks has been really bad.
Yeah. Scary night before Halloween. What do they call October 30th again? It's got like some sort of...
Was that not All Saints Day, or is that November 1st?
Yeah.
I forget.
Devil's Night?
Devil's Night?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, maybe it's Devil's Night. Yeah, I think that's right.
Anyways, scary October 30th for Brock Boeser, who gets hit in the jewels.
Do we have confirmation?
Gets hit in
the general and the soldiers?
Well, Adam Foote joked about he didn't want to say, can't tell you where he got hit.
But the fact that he was so confident he was going to be at practice, which he is, I wonder if it was vicinity. I mean, hey, it's all tender down there. I'm not, a little bit above is still not a great spot.
There are some specific locations that are worse than others.
Yeah. That whole area is not great. I think he's out for more than 18 hours if that hit the general or the battalion. Sammy Saddle reference.
He gets hit near the candies. A lot of discomfort. Needless to say. Does not return, but was at practice this morning in Minnesota. Murph shot the video there. Murph's at practice. Mike, you have it, or did we run it?
Yeah, we ran it.
We ran it, okay. In his home state of Minnesota.
He'd play on crutches.
Yes. He'll play. Actually, Ratu also
he'll play
leaves
with
in
two
the
jocks.
first period.
He'll play.
When Ratu leaves in the first period, I don't know about you, but like I'm looking at I'm going, Ty Müller, you're up, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Like, where are we going if another centerman is lost? He returns too. So the Canucks avoid would have been injuries to the 9th and 10th regulars in 1 month in this new campaign.
By the way, this has now garnered the attention of the national and even American side media. Like, everybody's looking at the Canucks going, are you serious?
Yeah, like, who's next?
Like, nobody can believe what's happening here.
Mm-hmm. Also interesting, Arshdeep Bains, Max Sasson, Lucas Reichel all got shifts in overtime before Evander Kane. Well, all got shifts in overtime, and then all got shifts in overtime before Evander Kane. Reichel had sort of a semi-breakaway. Kid, shoot the puck there. Like you're with a new team. You're supposed to be a goal. Shoot it. Tom Verlander, the rookie in a second game, also gets a shift in OT. It was not a very entertaining overtime by NHL overtime standards, which is usually is thrill a second. It's awesome stuff. That was not one of them.
Two very unsure teams.
Well, and we'll also talk to JPat about this later, but Quinn Hughes is the maestro usually in overtime, and Connor Garland is also missing for the Canucks. So I think you're missing two of your big overtime weapons there, and that they may have played it a little more conservatively. And frankly, that's probably fair.
Yep.
And with Evander, and who does get a shift, is it just 3-on-3 isn't really his jam
not
anymore?
with his wheels.
Yeah.
No. There's not really a place for a net front, around the net scorer in overtime.
No. Or a bang and crash, short areas, wall work.
No. not the jam.
Yeah. Adam Foote, not only praising his team, but maybe his biggest compliment to the group yet. Here's Coach.
You lose best in the first shift, a good player like that, you're like, no, here we go again. And you just said at the battle, I just told him it's pretty incredible for me as a coach and been here 2.5 years, maybe almost 3 years. And it's the best team win I've seen since I've been here as far as being resilient. What our leadership group has done to allow the young guys to come in and feel comfortable, play with confidence, not get upset at them when they make those young mistakes is impressive. Because these young guys are giving us good minutes right now, and these guys up from the minors. And, even Lanks' game tonight, how he played was pretty good. So the team part of it, there were some mistakes, but that's okay. They're making mistakes too, and that's a good hockey team that's very desperate right now. They've lost 5, and I think they've got a couple guys out as well. But I mean, what's going on with our group to be that resilient is the key to build on.
The best team win in his tenure here, which
I'll take some umbrage with that, to be honest. I'm okay with calling it a battle. I'm okay with we found a way to win. It was an 18-shot performance. Like a team win sounds like you're buzzing the puck around.
Well, I think that might be what he means, though, Blake, that it's like we had so many guys out via injury and then losing a guy in game or playing once again with the depleted lineup and short of forward, obviously aren't going to be able to muster like our best offensive game and yet found a way, and not only found a way, but like came back.
If that's what he means, that's fine.
That's how I perceived it, at least.
To me, a team win is all 4 lines got a goal. Defenseman playing stout D. I mean, that to me is a team win. But
okay,
I'll grant him the misnomer, perhaps.
Well, the other thing I wonder too, and coaches do this all the time, is sometimes you want to message to your group through the media because they get sick of your voice. And so if they pick up on the clip or if you have a reporter going to them, Coach said that was the best team win, that it's a way to get your message through to
Picks them up.
And exactly, and pick them up. He knows what he is working with and what he's not working with now. I think he's looking for every sort of way to be able to send a charge into his players heading into Minnesota and then Nashville on this road trip.
We should say, as we mentioned, that Brock Boeser was spotted at practice. If there was any likelihood of one of the injured players joining on the trip for the middle game, I think that moment has come and gone. They would have been at this practice. No, like you're not going to. An injured player is going to drop right into the lineup here.
If it's Quinn Hughes, hell yeah. If it's Connor Garland, hell yeah. I mean, Quinn Hughes, Connor Garland, if they arrive an hour before the game, I'm dropping them in because they're better than what you have.
Not because they need to warm up. That's not my suggestion. It's more just that if you are healthy tomorrow, you're probably healthy today? No?
Well, sometimes 24 hours is enough to get you on the other side of the line.
My bet is the finale, and you'll be happy if you get them for the finale on this road trip.
3 of the Canucks' 6 wins now are beyond regulation. They have 1 regulation win in their last 8 games. That was the game in Washington, and that one was nip and tuck as well. So it's very fine lines right now.
One of the things we talked about before the season, Matt, is a playoff year for this year means they turn around their OT and past 60-minute performance, and they probably win a lot more one-goal games than they did last year. And you look at all the one-goal wins that they've got so far. I mean, it's by the thinnest of margins, and there are teams that do it. But like that was one of our keys to playoff to a playoff seed was having those tough-to-win categories. Those are razor-thin margins, both of those categories, one-goal games and past 60-minute games. But the Canucks right now are doing that.
Well, just look at it. The Dallas game, okay, it's 5-3, but that's with an empty netter. You can count that as a one-goal game. They beat Chicago in a shootout. They beat the Capitals by a goal. The only game that isn't a one-goal game in the last 9 is the 5-1 loss in Pittsburgh. And that's because I'm counting the Rangers game as well, 2-0, but there's an empty netter there as well.
Yeah.
And that is very much in line with a trend in the National
Around the
Hockey
league.
League early
Yeah.
this season. Take a look at this from Buchagras. You see this? Nearly 80% of games right now are 1-goal margin or 2-goal margin with an empty netter. 4 out of 5 games across the NHL on average right now. Highest percentage in history through 177 league games. Previous high was 75% several years ago. And it's up 12% over last year.
Wow. I mean,
So parity.
yeah, it does feel like parity too. Like
No, I look at box scores every night
Yeah.
and go, oh, look at that.
so and so upset so and so, but even the teams that we in our mind's eye consider the elite teams, there's nobody off to like a smashing start here this year. That it's like, oh, that elite team is doing what we expected them to do. Look at Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Edmonton, Florida, all struggling and or playing merely good. So,
Vegas has points in 9 out of 10, 6-1 and 3, 15 points. That's very solid.
yeah, so that one,
Winnipeg
that one's
and
tracking.
Utah are 8 and 3, very, very, very solid. But
we expected Utah to be good.
yeah,
I don't know about elite.
yeah.
So-
Detroit and Montreal are 8 and 3 too.
But again, I'm talking about meeting expectations as elite teams. Both of those teams are expected to be improved, better, good, but not elite.
What do you? Which new beer are you going to tell us about today?
I'm just going to tell you what's on sale. I'm going to talk to the people because it's going to be a game weekend. You need volume. You need volume. Squirrel Chaser Hazy Pale Ale on special. The 4-packs, 473 mils. It's what you need for big games, especially
What you
baseball.
want.
It's a long game.
It's what you want. It's what you need.
It's got a good body. Look for it on sale at private and government liquor stores.
Let's get to our Crave the Stats, brought to you by Uber Eats. And let me tell you, in the 14 years that Blake and I have been doing this show together, one of the many things I've come to learn about him is that he likes an irregular stat line. He particularly likes the quote-unquote Cy Young guys in hockey.
And right now, your own Kiefer Sherwood, folks, he's on track.
He is in the conversation.
Like, I'll be honest, Daily Faceoff did the homework for this one.
So let's just explain, if you're not a baseball fan, Cy Young, the award given to the best pitcher. Usually there's a lot of wins, very few losses. So
20 wins, 5 losses.
a huge number in
Something
the
like
first category, a small number in the second.
So something
category.
resembles a Cy Young line is what we call a Cy Young goal scorer. Last year, was it Matt Larkin? Yeah, Matt Larkin at the Daily Faceoff did a piece on this, and he was spurred on at the time by Braden Point at 16 goals, 5 assists, and Adam Gaudette got off to a 12-goal, 1-assist start
Adam
last year.
Gaudette is absolutely a Cy Young guy. Does not see the ice all that well. It's not creator. It's one of the things that's holding him back as an NHL centerman.
Jack Roslovic-
But good shot, as we saw with the Canucks. Guy can score some goals, get on a heater.
Jack Roslovic was 12-3. So, but none of these guys finished off that Cy Young except for Gaudette. Gaudette went 19-7. That's a nice Cy Young year.
Yep.
But again, it's not Kiefer Sherwood.
It's a Pat Henkin year.
It's not Kiefer Sherwood at 9-9. Anyway, the all-timers, though, in the modern era, and we go modern era because all the actual, mind-blowing ones are from pre-1930s, pre-forward pass. There was only like 1 assist given out, so everybody was in the Cy Young category.
Dead ball era.
Yeah, it's not fair. Modern Cy Young, Peter Bondra at 34 goals, 9 assists.
Bondra could really shoot the puck and really skate.
And Brandon Peary at 22-2.
Look at the write-up there, though, for Bondra, for those of you on visual platforms. Joe Juneau and Michael Pavanka were very good playmakers, puck carriers. That's a hell of a line. Bondra with Juneau and Pavanka.
Yeah, not bad.
Peary, I remember the name, but I have zero recollection of a 22-goal season for him 10 years ago.
Like, how do you only have 2 assists? Now,
Especially with the way they give out some assists these days. Like, if it bounces off your shin guard and goes to someone in a net front scramble, you can get one.
he was top 15 in shots per 60 at 5-on-5, so he just shot.
Yeah. I want to get to this from our buddy David Pinota.
Let me just finish up with our
right,
friends
of
from
course.
Uber, enabling fans to maximize their fandom all season long with exclusive game day deals on the app. And you can even get things like paper plates and napkins. If you're having a Halloween party, for instance, why not? Before, during, after the game, Uber Eats assisting every fan's hockey experience all season long.
I want to get to this from our buddy David Pinota of the Fourth Period and DFO Insider on Wednesdays with our friend Irf Gaffar. Utah Mammoth, we just mentioned them, 8-3. They're off to a fantastic start. They've re-signed Logan Cooley. Oh my God, are they scoring goals? There have been some unbelievable totals from the Utah Mammoth. And by the way, it's a nice fit there. I know you weren't huge on Mammoth, but I'm liking the look there. I'm liking the tusks up.
Well, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Yeah.
They have 40 goals in 11 games. Same as Winnipeg, actually. Nick Schmaltz, their fine centerman. Blake, we had a couple of long discussions about this player in the summer in terms of available centermen for the Vancouver Canucks. And we had discussions about Schmaltz because he's going into the final year of his contract at $5.85 million. There are other good young forwards in Utah. We wondered whether that was getting to a decision time for Bill Armstrong. Well, Pinota reports that, there were trade discussions about Schmaltz this summer. Name checks the Carolina Hurricanes as one of the teams that were quite interested. Oh, please tell me the Canucks were involved on that. And gosh, more expensive not to might be not bucking up for Nick Schmaltz or paying the trade cost for Nick Schmaltz from the Vancouver Canucks. I say that because look at the start to the year he's had.
Oh, my gosh.
He's got 7 goals and 17 points in 11 games.
Yep.
I mean, a pedigreed player, 4 straight 20-goal seasons. I mean, surely the Canucks had to have made calls on that, and I just do wonder whether when you look at Schmaltz now and you look at the Canucks now, if they regret not paying what Utah wanted.
But now Utah's got to ride it out with Schmaltz.
The way that they've started, I think so. You want to make the playoffs, so we'll see where that goes. Dollywall says the Canucks are poking around Steven Stamkos.
Can you imagine?
Oh, my God.
I
can't hate that enough.
You do wonder.
Fantastic player at one stage. And Blake has played 70% of his time at center. So they're trying him back at center because they don't have centers in Nashville. But $8 million per.
Do you think the
for 2 more years
ever
after
cake
this
test
for
the market?
35?
Do you think they cake test the market with and let this stuff leak out on purpose just to see what the Canucks if they're thinking about it? Do you think they ever test the market?
I think Rutherford lets a lot of things leak to reporters.
Because in this one, it's
I'm not
sort of
necessarily sure it's cake test because I think he's got his own opinions and doesn't much care.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they might be quote unquote cake testing just so that the fans are like, oh, they're busy, they're in on things.
Right. Yeah.
But no.
I mean, it's a legendary
I don't
name.
think the market's opinion would sway them one way or the other.
He's been a great name, and people might, at first blush, get a little bit excited. Just do a deeper dive, folks.
Yeah.
The man has not been himself.
I can't hate.
I can't imagine them doing that trade. Because
I mean, you can't give up. So let's just play it out.
For a lot.
Let's just play it out. He's $8 million per, so you have to either send money back or they hold on the player, or both. And then, secondly, I don't think you can give up anything of value for the player right now.
No.
They're in jail with the player.
Yeah.
Why would you even consider giving up good? He was a great, legendary player. He's got 500 goals. He's got cup rings. He is going to the Hall of Fame. That is not the guy you are acquiring right now.
I mean, even
everybody knows that, right?
If he was on an expiring deal, I'm all ears. Mm-hmm. If they retain 50 and you give up very little, I'm all ears. With 2.5 years remaining on this contract, even at 50%, Matt, you cannot.
No, even at 50%.
You cannot have that albatross.
No. Even at 50%.
No.
That's the thing. That's the maximum they can hold. And I still wouldn't do it.
No.
Let's get to our menu today. It's brought to you by Greta, a fantastic spot to watch the game, to pregame, postgame. They are steps from the arena and stadium. If you need a venue for a team-building event, check out Greta. Awesome menu of food. Arcade is even better. For more info to book your event, GretaBar.com, Greta 50 West Cordova. Let the games begin. Big show today, busy show today. We have lots to talk about. JPat's going to join us. We'll talk about the Canucks game last night and point forward. Jeff Marek's going to join us. Much has happened since we last talked to Marek last week. So we're going to talk about Stamkos, get his 2 cents on Lucas Reichel. And he's wondering about Nashville, too, and where the Predators are going to go. And then Tristan Blackman, MLS Defender of the Year, is going to join us on the eve of the Whitecaps playoff game in Dallas tomorrow. As you know, we've been talking about it all week. Just a gigantic weekend of sport. The next in a lineage here of gigantic weekends in sports. Game 6 of the World Series tonight. BC Lions home playoff game tomorrow at BC Place. The Caps in Dallas looking to advance. And the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football against Washington.
In the interest of transparency, if you're wondering about the wardrobe change, yes, we spoke to Tristan
That's
Blackman
right.
yesterday.
We had to talk to Tristan yesterday because they're traveling today. Yeah. Time now for our Bet365 bets of the day.
Yep. It's got to be the World Series, right?
I got my over yesterday on the Canucks game because it was the low total on the game. It played out as we saw, right?
Yep.
Some guys needed goals to step up. They scored. The goaltending hadn't been great on either side. There were some stinkers, so I got my over. I'm going on the World Series, Blake, and I hate doing this because, as you know, I will be rooting for Canada's team tonight. But minus 128 to get Yamamoto.
Oh, man.
And an under of 7.5. Again, with Yamamoto on the mound, coming off 2 complete games, looking like a modern day, fill it in, Gibson, Koufax, whomever. I have to go there. And a little bit of the Don Taylor special there, right? Where you're happy one way or the other. So give me the Dodgers minus 128. Give me the under 7.5.
This does not seem like that big of an ask here for the guy that is going to be, because I think he holds there, just the second player in World Series history to hit 400 and have 8 or more home runs. We're talking about Vladimir Guerrero. He's got 2 hits in him tonight. He just does. He's going to get 2 hits. He's hitting 400 now. He's going to be hitting 400 at the end of the night.
It's Yamamoto.
It's Vladimir Guerrero. 2 hits plus 200. I don't mind that number at all for 2 hits. That's his regular. That's his average.
So put it this way, Blake. I think that means Yamamoto actually has to leave the game for him to get 2 hits.
There's no chance he's playing.
Yamamoto is not leaving games.
Straight complete games.
Hasn't happened in nearly a quarter century for a baseball pitcher. This segment, a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game, use code NATION when doing so. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. JPat next. JPat coming up next. Carson Price from the Historic Wall Center.
This segment brought to you by your Pacific Toyota dealers and the Toyota Prius plug-in hybrid, which I am desperately seeking one of my own here because I do drive a Toyota. I'm a loyal Toyota driver, but I drive a big Toyota.
You don't have this puppy.
I drive a big Toyota, which most certainly does not have the fuel efficiency
No.
and the ease of parking, too, Matt.
In those tight spaces in downtown Vancouver and the parking garages and lots.
And yet it
you need this one,
magically
Jeff.
opens up space when you open the hatch, and you can get your hockey bag in there. You can get a couple golf bags in there. The Toyota Prius has it all, including fabulous styling, an amazing driving experience. Head to your Pacific Toyota dealer, take one for a test drive, and hey, maybe you jump into an SE right now from $99 weekly at 3.49% APR for 64 months with $3,600 down, and it includes a $3,000 discount right now. Go check it out, shoptoyota.ca.
As we welcome in and say happy Halloween to Jeff Paterson, a belated happy birthday to him as well, our Canucks reporter, the host of RinkWide Vancouver. They were at it last night after a 4-3 shootout victory for the Vancouver Canucks over the St. Louis Blues. Good day, Jeff. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for the birthday wishes. My birthday has been overshadowed for 22 years now in my household, though it's my daughter's birthday today, a Halloween baby. So happy birthday to Caitlin. And yes, my birthday, a mere afterthought. But that's
Do you
fine.
think
It's
Shannon
just-
He
planned
works
that?
his birthday every year. He just works the Canucks game. That's how it rolls.
I think Shannon may have planned that, seeing like, I don't want to have to celebrate Jeff for too long here. I'm going to spit the
that
baby
sort
out
of
now.
fits- No, now that you mention it, that checks. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what is your best explanation behind Kiefer Sherwood here? And are we looking at the next Alex Burrows in this market?
Boy, second part first, I would say no, because the runway here. I mean, this is a guy that's 30 and a late bloomer at the NHL level, but a guy that put up gaudy numbers in the American Hockey League. Like, it was in there somewhere. How do I explain 9 goals in the first dozen games? I don't. I'm along for the ride right now and enjoying being part of the Kiefer Sherwood's orbit. He's shooting 35%. Like, that's just not going to last. But I do think there's an underrated shot there. I think we've already seen that a few times. And I think last night was a perfect example of the different ways, the many ways that he could beat you, right? The power play goals in tight, blue paint, going to the net, crashing the crease, all that kind of stuff. The second one, just a brilliant breakaway. And it's already the second time we have seen him deke a goaltender out of his gear. So there's confidence, there's poise, and there's finish there. And then the third one is this wrist shot that he has scored on a couple of times already. And I think maybe it catches some goaltenders by. So that was short side on Binnington up under the bar. A really nice shot off a broken play there. So, you know, there's more skill than he's given credit for. I think this is a guy that made his way into the National Hockey League as a grinder and a plugger, and the Canucks were attracted to him by the way that he finished every check in that playoff series against Nashville. But I think he was looking for an opportunity to spread his wings a little bit. And my goodness, now with 28 goals as a member of the Vancouver Canucks last year and already here. And it is wild to just wake up today and look at NHL.com or whatever stats page you want and sort by goal scorers. And there are a handful of 9-goal guys, and he is one of them. And then on top of that, it's the no assists. And I'm not knocking him right now. I mean, it's just an incredible run. But it is pretty funny to see 9 goals and no apples.
Because you mentioned it, I've never really examined his AHL production. And you are absolutely right. The last 3 dips of the toe in the AHL for Kiefer Sherwood, going back to COVID year with the Colorado Eagles, 10 goals in 10 games, 16 points in those 10 games. Gets sent down the next year as well, 36 goals, 75 points in just 57 games for Colorado. And then most recently, when he's in the Nashville organization down to Milwaukee, 22 goals in 42 games. I mean, those are really good rates. And you're wondering if any of those organizations are ruining, maybe not when he got called up, because he got NHL looks with all those organizations, Jeff. You wonder if they rue sort of how they deployed him when he got there. And I don't have that in front of me, but maybe they just didn't give him the best looks to show that he can do it at the NHL level.
Yeah, this is not a highly pedigreed junior player that was always on the fast track. And I think he's a guy that had to scratch and claw for everything that he has been able to achieve in professional hockey. And you're right. I think somewhere along the line got pigeonholed into this, well, he's just a grinder, skates well so he can get into the forward check, and he's fearless in the way that he plays. But under all of that, under the hood, there was a hockey player that was waiting to burst out. And so does Nashville regret letting him walk for $1.5 million? My goodness, the smoldering tire fire that is the Nashville Predators right now. It's crazy to think that they nickeled and dimed. But at the same time, I mean, there's this adage in hockey about, don't overpay for bottom six forwards. And this is the conundrum that the Canucks are running into headlong here. And I waffle on this, guys, and I know in our business there isn't supposed to be waffling, but you love everything about what Kiefer Sherwood is bringing right now. And then you say to yourself, yeah, but he's 30 years old. And then you look at 9 goals and you say, yeah, but he's shooting 35%. It cannot last. And you say, but he's earned a raise, and he has. But how many guys into their 30s can the Canucks commit to long-term? And when you get the long-term deals, you're generally getting trade protection as well. Boeser, DeBrusk, Garland. Now you're going to add Kiefer Sherwood. And what has this mix added up to for the Vancouver Canucks? Like, if these guys had produced all sorts of great playoff runs and everything else, you'd think, okay, keep the group together. And yet there's sort of this push here to get him signed today. And I guess I understand it, because if you sign him today, it's probably going to be cheaper than it will be tomorrow or down the road if he continues to go at the rate that he's going at. But I do fear for sort of the big picture of the Vancouver Canucks. How many of these guys into their 30s can you have under your tent, especially when this group really has amounted to very little in the grand scheme?
Yeah, and we're asking that on our Redwoods Golf Course poll question. And I don't know. Like, he's 30, guys, so what's the max term we're going here? 4 years? Is that... You want to get out of players before 35, right? So 4 years is probably, let's work it backwards. Let's workshop it. So 4 years is probably the max term you want to go on the player.
Absolutely.
Is that fair, Jeff?
Yeah.
Or would you go longer?
From a team standpoint, sure, but the player gets a say in this, right? And so if he goes to the open market today, he's probably getting 5x5 or more from some team out there that's going to overpay him, especially in an escalating cap world. Should it be the Vancouver Canucks? And that is literally the $20 to $25 million question. And I'm sure they're wrestling with it for the reasons that you point out there. But at the same time, if he and his agent think, forget it, like, they're undervaluing me, they went down this road with Brock Boeser all of last year, we're going to take ourselves to the open market. And then what? So then, of course, it brings into this idea, if the season starts to slip away, is he merely trade bait for somebody else? And every team that's going to the playoffs could use a Kiefer Sherwood the way that he is playing right here, right now. And I'm not trying to run him out of town. Please hear me when I say that. But I do think that the Canucks have to sort of take the long view, broad view approach here with this player. And so if they could commit to 4 years at 4.5, I'd probably be willing to look long and hard at something like that. But I just wonder if, this is a guy that has been on the cheap for the most part. Like, this is going to be his opportunity, right? And you can't begrudge a player. He has earned a raise. That much I think we all have to be in agreement on. It's just at what figure and for how many years and what kind of trade protection, and does it happen here or does it happen elsewhere?
I'm the son of an estimator, and the one thing my dad taught me was there are certain numbers that have a psychological effect on people. 4 years, $5 million per, $20 million total. I would think that probably gets. You put that in front of him right now.
Oh, I think he saw a
30-year-old guy who had been in the AHL. No,
nope.
Why not?
So. I just think
too
that's
rich.
Too rich for I just
like, if he scores 30 goals, you're gonna be way above that, huh?
Yeah.
You're willing to wait. Okay.
I mean,
as he mentioned earlier.
I mean, this is a Vancouver Canucks team that needs to get younger, that needs to acquire assets in the important positions.
Well,
does he become an asset to trade for an important position?
Well, here's the thing. This series,
Matt, you say a 30-goal scorer, and you think, come on, 30-goal scorer. This guy's never been a 20-goal scorer, but he's at 9 right now through a dozen games.
That's it. 21 and 70.
You do exactly. Do the hockey math, and basically just has to score at the rate that he did last year.
Yeah.
Get to 30 goals now. It's not out of the question. I mean, at some point, doesn't he have to get an opportunity higher in the lineup? Like, I know that he's producing sort of as a third-line guy, and like, he played 24 minutes last night. Like, that's not third-line minutes. And given the circumstances and Boeser leaving early and all those types of things, second time already this year that Kiefer Sherwood's been up over 23 minutes in the game. But I do wonder, like, not only is he scoring and is your best goal scorer, but you want to reward guys that are playing hard and playing their asses off. And so I do wonder at some point if, like, he has to. We saw it a little bit last year, but I do wonder if he has to get an opportunity higher in the lineup here, just based on the way that he is performing. And so a lot of that depends who's available to the coaching staff, what kind of lineup are they cobbling together on a given night here. But no, all of a sudden the idea, like blasting out of the gates the way that he has, 30 goals, like it's not crazy talk at all.
Okay, and of course the alternative, if this season goes to pot and you're probably going to lose Quinn Hughes at that stage of the game, then you've got a significant trade chip at the deadline in Sherwood, not to mention a significant trade chip in Quinn Hughes. Of course, that depends on the owner allowing all of that. Let's move on, because Evander Kane had exactly the type of game that Evander Kane needed and exactly the type of game that we have been talking about with Evander Kane. Your thoughts on Evander, who should have had his first goal for his hometown Vancouver Canucks, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it here on the live stream, but I've got a few fewer hairs this morning than I did last night because I continue to pull my hair out over goaltender interference. And I basically now have given up, and I'll just sit back and wait for the decision of the war room. I didn't see enough to overturn a goal. That felt like a Hail Mary from Jim Montgomery as his team trailed with 2 minutes to go. And yeah, I mean, for all the angst in the market about Evander Kane and what he's doing and when he's going to score, he finally gets a goal. It looks like it's going to be the go-ahead and probably the game winner, and then it gets taken off the board. So I feel from there. Playing a lot, again, without Boeser. They were down a key forward, so guys had to step up at almost 20 minutes in ice time. Really liked the play that he made on the first Sherwood goal in the power play, though, to take the passing option away, essentially, from Jordan Binnington, who handcuffs Justin Falk in the corner, and Kane follows through there, pressures the defenseman, puck squirts free and onto the stick of Sherwood. All 5 of his assists have been primary assists, so impossible to say that he hasn't been able to contribute. And 5 assists in 12 games, like half a point a game. If he finished with 40 points, like I think that's kind of the ballpark I had for Evander Kane. It's just that they've all been helpers to this point, and he has yet to find the back of the net. So, I just thought it was a really gritty effort from everybody. Like, it's impossible to look at anybody in that Canuck lineup and say they didn't pull their weight last night. And was it a perfect game? No, they were outshot badly, gave up 2 more power play goals. Like, there are long-term concerns. But in the here and now, this is about survival, and they did more than that last night. And Evander Kane, I thought, was a part of it. So yeah, I think some forward momentum here, steps in the right direction, and we'll see if he can follow it up with another solid performance in Mini on Saturday.
Brock Boeser did not survive, but he apparently, I mean, the coach has confidence.
He did
he's
survive.
Back. The coach, thankfully, the coach's confidence. He's good to go tomorrow, but. I mean, when that happens that early and you're declared done for the game, I mean, that must be one hell of a welt.
Yeah, a couple of bags of frozen peas in the team freezer there, whatever it took. I think collectively, anybody that saw that, and again, just given everything else that they've been through, of course, right? First minute of the hockey game, friendly fire, from 10 feet away, like Boeser just happens to be at the top of the circle as DPD's blasting. It's not like he's standing in front of the net 45 feet away, so add to the impact. And you could tell immediately he's in distress, needed some help off the ice there. So the fact that he didn't come back by the end of the first period, I kind of figured his night was done. And let's hope that he rests up and recovers here and moves forward, because the last thing, obviously, that this team can afford is yet another injury to a top of the lineup guy. And so, again, I go back to the next man up, whatever we want to call it. There is this mindset right now that this is their lot in life. Nobody's going to feel sorry for them. They may as well just plow forward here. And they're facing flawed opponents on this entire road trip. And yes. I think that's the one thing that they did have going for them. The Blues are in a bad way. Minnesota might be worse, and then Nashville is all sorts of trouble internally. So, there are points to be had here. And so to get the first 2, they can just kind of exhale for a night and get after it against Minnesota. So let's hope. Brock wants to play in Minnesota. It's always been a big deal for him. The story is well known, so we don't have to document it again. But of all the places, that he wants to be in the lineup against the Wild on Saturday.
It would be pretty crazy for them to sweep this road trip and for them to come home, given the season that they've had with the injury. I mean, it's not crazy to suggest they could have a 6-3 road record.
Well, they went 3 in a row on the road to begin the last one. So, yeah, and frozen peas are selling Boeser short, I think, Jeff. Moving right along.
You want edamame? You'd prefer edamame, a bag of edamame? Or?
Frozen peas, they're malleable. That's why people use bags. Can fit wherever they need to go. That's
in this
nooks and crannies.
In this context, peas.
Well, your mind went there.
Okay. Lankinen, another guy who needed a game, got a game. When the Snuggerud goal goes in, Jeff, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, man. Because we talked about it on yesterday's show, those sort of mid chances, not the high dangers, but the ones where, okay, occasionally they're going to score from there, but you do want to have the lion's share of saves in that spot. And when that Snuggerud goal went in, great shot. Jimmy Snipes, not taking anything away from him, but you do want to save most of those. I was a little worried for Lankinen, and I was a little worried for the state of the Canucks backup goaltending, putting so much money into it and thinking this could be a Thatcher Demko show going forward. He was excellent from there.
It took you until the early stages of the second to have those feelings? I thought the first goal that went right through him, I was like, oh, no. They lose Boeser, and then a couple of minutes later, they're down 1-0, start of the road trip, all the things that we talked about going against them. So I had some concerns then. I didn't love the Snuggerud goal either for the reasons you mentioned, but then full credit to him. He dug in, battled back, made some really big saves. Not a whole lot that he could do on the Pia Suter rebound on the power play. And then the shootout thing is becoming like the legend of Kevin Lankinen now, which is really incredible and sort of understated. But, I will tell you this about Lankinen and shootouts. I have seen it. I've had teammates tell me, and I don't think I've ever heard this about another goaltender that's played here in Vancouver, but like he will ask his teammates to finish up occasional practices with shootout attempts, that this is something that he actually wants to work on. And you never know when the next shootout's going to happen, right? It's not something you can't prepare for. Tomorrow night we're going to go to a shootout. But I think it's one of those things where he doesn't want rust to build up and kind of just wants to constantly have that feel of facing NHL shooters in a shootout. Gives him a sense of his own motion and the way that he approaches things. So pretty unique and something that I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of, but this is a guy that has asked teammates to finish up practices with shootout attempts, and the proof, as they say, is right there. 7 for 7 this year, and basically unbeatable over his National Hockey League career when it comes to facing guys one-on-one in the skills competition.
Well, he's never played on a super great team. He knows that he will probably go to some shootouts, right? I mean, this is a team that's going to play in tight games at best, and if he can be near perfect, I mean, those are the bonus points that the Canucks didn't get last year, Jeff, and they had him incidentally, but I mean, it's been a great start in that category, and that is a path to the playoffs. We talked about that for the Vancouver Canucks, is to drastically turn around the past 60-minute points for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, and to be clear, they won more shootouts than they lost last year. I think they were 3-2 in shootouts. Their downfall was overtime games that were settled in 3-on-3.
And did they play for the shootout last night? Because that was the worst overtime I maybe have ever seen.
Right. Again, on a night where they deserve a ton of credit, those 5 minutes of overtime, that was a small D disappointment. Not a single shot on goal. Certainly didn't feel like they were thinking a whole lot of offense there. So wouldn't that be something if this is the new Canucks that are playing for the shootout now? Again, you don't have to use. They use seven different forwards and 3 defensemen. So it really was just continuing to roll lines through overtime. And Lankinen was forced to make a couple of stops, including a nice one off Pia Suter there. So the Blues had an opportunity at the very least. But you're right, overtime itself didn't amount to much. But then you get to the shootout, and as we so often see in shootouts, all it takes is one goal. And last night, with Lankinen holding his end of the bargain at one end of the ice, finally Jake DeBrusk was the guy that cashes in, and the Canucks skate away with a victory here. So, just the one game so far decided in overtime. That was the other night against Edmonton. But beyond regulation, they are 3-0, and it's impossible to be any better than that in the opportunities that they've had in those games that have been extended.
Yeah, no Hughes, no Garland. You might be better off in shootout than in overtime, actually. 3-on-3 right now.
No Heedle, yeah.
Great stuff, Jeff. Thank you for this. We will catch up next week after the Canucks in Minnesota on Saturday and Nashville again on Monday. Enjoy your Halloween, and happy birthday, Caitlin.
I will pass that along, and I thank you. And what an incredible sports weekend. So we'll all get back at it on Monday. It's going to be fascinating to break down everything that we all consume here over the next bunch of.
Hey, let me just ask you, since you have a well-known tradition on Boxing Day of taking all the Christmas decorations down. He tweets it every year. T-Mart looks forward to that tweet every year. Yeah. Do the Patersons decorate for Halloween? And how quickly will the decorations be down tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we do. We have a pretty decent display. Our street actually this year is incredible.
Is that a Shannon thing? Is that a Jeff thing? Is that a kids thing?
It's very much a Shannon. I had nothing to do with Halloween decorations this year. But no, we've got a decent display out front. And we've got some guy that works in the movie industry, I think in props and stuff, at the end of our street. He built like this incredible skeletons skiing. Like you have to see it. But he built a chair. He built a chairlift that hangs from his tree. Like it looks like any kind of ski lift that you would see. He's got one of those like 20-foot skeletons that you've probably seen. Yeah. He built skis, so that skeleton is holding like 18-foot skis that are crossed in front of him. Like it's really impressive, and I'm sure a ton of work went into it. So he puts our display to shame. But no, we've got a street like. We all contributed to $50. Like we have a massive fireworks show for 3 or 4 years now, and these guys, the dads, get so into it. And
you're in a cul-de-sac, though, right?
No.
I thought you were in a cul-de-sac. Okay.
No, but no, it's a big deal. There's we'll see how it goes with the baseball game and stuff tonight, but big fireworks show on the street at some point.
In the rain,
and then. I would think it'll get taken up by the weekend. I certainly don't expect that our display will last. Maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. But, yeah.
The Jeff Paterson I know will have that sucker down by noon tomorrow.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
I want the photo tomorrow morning, 11:59. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Thanks, buddy.
Enjoy it, Jeff.
Put it on the list here. Okay. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
All right.
Garrison Price from the historic Wall Center.
This segment brought to you by Pizza, who have done what any pizza joint should have done long ago. They just made it bigger. Just like more pizza.
More pizza,
please.
At a better price.
At Pizza, you can get a double XL. Mm-hmm. Like about time. 3-topping pizza, $19.99.
XL wasn't big enough. I needed double.
Who doesn't?
In more ways than one, sadly.
That's an 18-inch pizza with 8 huge slices, the go-to game viewing pizza, especially with these days where you're not watching one game per night. It's a 2-game night every night these days.
You don't have time to cook.
No. And you need a lot of pizza. Mm-hmm. Don't forget the creamy garlic dip. Only at Pizza, actually Canadian.
Here's Jeff Marek, the host of The Sheet on the Nation Network. He joins us Fridays.
Hang on.
We're hanging.
I can't let Pizza just hang there and move on to hockey. A couple of things. So as a kid, and still to this day, that was our go-to shop as our family.
Yeah.
It was Thursdays was always pizza night. And we ordered so many that when I think it was like 10 years old, randomly, they sent us a telephone, a pizza telephone, and we had no rooms to put it in, so my father put it in the bathroom. I'm like, Dad, who's making calls in the bathroom? But we had no other place to put a phone. Here's
free
the
cell
other
phone.
thing
Why not?
about Pizza. Yeah. So here's the other thing about Pizza. When I was at University of Guelph, Ontario, they were the only place that would allow me to do something that I still cherish to this day. And that is I would call and I would say, I want a large or whatever, but don't cut it. I want you to fold it. And we would call it the Super Panzo. Not slices. I just want you to fold the pizza. And when it's like 2:30 in the morning, you don't want to mess around with slices. You just want a large pizza folded in half. We called it the Super Panzo. Pizza delivered. And one more thing, I have a theory about pizza. And it goes like this. The word pizza is the most perfect word in the English language. I want you both to think, and everybody listening and watching right now, I want you to think of the most buckled you've ever been in your life, okay? Just imagine it. Have you ever mispronounced the word pizza?
Yeah, you can always get it out.
It is impossible to mispronounce. It's the word that no one's ever mispronounced. I never have. Matt, Blake, you guys are probably never. Everyone watching and listening right now, nobody has ever mispronounced the word pizza. It is the most perfect word in the English language, period, the end.
You're in the fetal position in the backseat of your buddy's car. You can still get out. Pizza.
Pizza. Yeah. Yeah. No one's ever mispronounced it. It's the most perfect word. Perfect.
Why are you stumbling down the sidewalk, son? Sorry, officer. Pizza. Sorry, officer. For pizza.
Pizza.
Hold on, though.
What did he say?
You're folding a whole large pie in half.
Did they do
creating like a calzone of like?
Yeah, Panzerotti.
Correct.
This was, we're talking about pre-oven or post-bake.
No, post-oven. You bake it and then you fold it, and then you fold it. Or it can just get delivered and you fold it yourself. I'm not fussy that way. I'm not too particular when it's 2:30 in the morning.
Not
we're
fussy.
watching Bars and Tone on television at university.
The entire pizza.
Correct. And Pizza would always do it for me. It was great. It was awesome. I loved it. Fan for life. That was it. They folded the pizza for me. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm really simple. They would fold the pizza for me.
You know, I love talking to Jeff Marek is we get on here on Friday mornings. And just before we hit record, he always has a, hey, have I ever told you about my blank theory? Have we talked about that before? No? Okay, let me go.
Well, before we finish the pizza, incidentally, our contact at Pizza I went to high school with, and his older brother got a job at Pizza when we were in high school, when our older brothers were in grade 12, maybe grade 13. And
because Ontario had grade 13 back then.
And
that's true.
He liked to eat, and they decided to make panzos one day at our house. But their stipulation was we're going to make them the size of our cranium. And so they made multiple panzos they took up the entirety of the oven. They were spectacular. It was basically like a lasagna pizza. Like they were massive.
Guys, just fold it.
Yeah.
Just fold it.
Sure,
we're not
you
trying
could.
to put a man on the moon here. We're not trying to crack the ice.
No, we're not. We're not.
Just fold the pizza, guys.
I do like the shout about the most perfect word in the English language.
Yeah, that's good.
Although,
find me a better one.
It also has. The very word
Well,
has pieces of pizza in it with the Z.
To be technical, do believe it's an Italian word, but nevertheless, we've co-opted it.
It's ours now.
Yeah, it also sounds like the object it refers to. So
that's right.
It's got that going for it as well.
I'm not going to get in your way. You're just ramming it off. This is good. Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff, tell me how you think the Vancouver Canucks will do in life without Quinn Hughes and Connor Garland, especially after last night's game.
Keep going. Like it's not just those two. I mean, this is a laundry list. Like I've always been a fan of Agatha Christie novels, and this is like Murder on the Orient Express, where you're riding on the train and the lights flicker and another character vanishes. Like I'm watching Vancouver Canucks games, and you want like that second screen of the bench to see who's still there. I know it's a reality that all teams go through, but like holy smokes. This is ripped out of the pages of an Agatha Christie novel, and Brock Boeser last night. You're going to rely on your goaltenders if you're the Vancouver Canucks. Lankinen was excellent last night. Thatcher Demko is showing why he's one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. And when he's healthy, he's a Vezina Trophy candidate. You guys know all this. But the one position that this does put a lot of pressure on is goaltending, right? When you're going to have to grind for every single goal, it's hard. And that's why, I always looked at Phil Kessel this way. The value in Phil Kessel is, I think every team needs to have someone who can just skate down the wing and snap in a couple of goals easy. Like one of the greatest luxuries you can have is having a guy that can score an easy goal. Because when you have to grind for every tiny little goal that you have or any scoring chance, it's hard and it takes it out of you. And then their team marches down the ice and they score fast. You're like, ugh. But when you have a guy that can just come down the wing and snap a couple in really fast, the whole bench just goes, whew, okay. all right, Phil just snapped in 2 for us. It's tough, and this is probably what Vancouver is going to have to go through here now. Now, it just happens that, one of their best grinding players has channeled the ghost of Rocket Richard. Certainly
Yes.
when he plays
They actually have that player right now.
Yeah, I kind of like how, Leon Draisaitl turns into Rocket Richard when he plays the Nashville Predators. I mean, every game he snaps in 2 against the Preds. Kiefer Sherwood is the story. And it's one of those situations where when one of your best defensive players is one of your best offensive players, you can't lose a line matchup. It's going to be like efforts like that from players like that get it done for the Vancouver Canucks. Nothing's going to be easy now.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be easy, and it's going to be hard on the goaltenders.
I was going to give you the long list of injuries, but we spent 5 minutes talking about pizza, so I thought I would consolidate, much like, what's it called?
Panzerotti.
Panzerotti. Mhm.
Yeah, I stand by my decision, Matt.
Get to the business.
Talk about pizza.
No, for sure. No, it's good content. I mean, no one can argue that. Lucas Reichel had a chance in overtime there last night. They acquired him shortly after we talked to you last Friday, as a matter of fact. Tell us about the player.
Yeah.
What do you think? Got a chance here?
Fast. I mean, there was that, there was that time where there was like the 3 German players that were going to come in and were going to light the NHL on fire. And again, it was going to be the continued rise of German hockey. It was, of course, Tim Stützle and JJ Peterka and Lucas Reichel. And, pre-draft, not draft year, but leading up to it, there was always the question of which of these 3 German players is going to be the one that pops. And at times it looked like Reichel, at times it looked like Peterka, and at times it looked like Stützle. Now, Stützle, of course, has distinguished himself as the best of the 3. But the first thing you notice is, as you guys know, when you look at him, when you look at Reichel and you watch him play, he's fast. Everything that he does is really quick. I like him. I don't know what happened in Chicago, how he skated himself into a corner and couldn't skate himself out of it. But I really sort of kicked myself after we went off the air last week, and a few minutes later, there's the Reichel there's the Reichel deal. I said to myself, that is a very smart, low risk play by the Vancouver Canucks. And right now, when it's early in the season, I think that's the wise thing to do. I'll applaud Vancouver for taking this shot at giving a player a second chance. I always, maybe this is just the old school in me. I'm always shy about giving up on young players. Right? And I guess the Rangers are like this with Alexis Lafreniere. It's a Sam Pollock theory. So Sam Pollock's theory was never give up on a young player until you're 100% certain. If you're 99% certain, don't give up. You have to be 100% certain before you give up on a young player. And this is Sam Pollock that watched Guy Lafleur struggle through the first couple of seasons of his career and then turn into a Hall of Famer, where there were howls in Montreal at that time to move off of Guy Lafleur. I like it. I think it's a smart move for them. It's low risk. It's always good when you have someone that can bring that speed element down the middle, and that's what Lucas Reichel does. And listen, from the games and the things that I've watched so far in Vancouver, specifically that first weekend. Last weekend, I thought Lucas Reichel looked really good. I know the production's not there. I know the boxcar numbers aren't there right now, but I thought specifically last weekend, I thought that he looked really good and really wanted to bury that one last night.
Robbed of an assist as well on the Kane goal that got taken off the board as well. The assertion is that it doesn't maybe have the hockey IQ to put it all together, despite the wheels. He seems to be putting himself into the right positions, but the finish just hasn't been there just yet. I mean, might there be more success if the Canucks can, God forbid, ever get healthy or acquire another 2C? Could he be better as a winger? Could he be better coming off the wing, reduced responsibility, and one job only, and that is to prowl the one side?
One of the things that we've learned in hockey, we grew up with this idea that you can't teach touch, right? We all 3 of us, we all grew up with this. Goal scorers are just born. Mike Bossy was born to score goals. Really? Isn't this one of the things that sort of pre-2005 lockout that we learned we were lied to? our entire lives. Like now that we know things like, pre-shot movement and, different types of grips and different types of shots, like everybody's got shooting instructors now, and nobody talks about how we need to shrink the pads or make the nets bigger because the players are so much better at shooting the puck now. Does their technology around them in their hands help? Yeah, of course it does. But where once upon a time, Blake, like I would look at that and say, yeah, you know what? He doesn't have it. He's got hands like feet. He's never going to score. But now I'm the opposite. I do believe, and I think we all do, we believe that touch can be taught at any level. And
look at Jake DeBrusk. Jake DeBrusk is not a Rocket Richard winner.
Yeah.
Look at his touch on the shootout. Like that is.
Yeah. You can't tell me that Sherwood hasn't become a more accurate shooter over the course of his hockey career after what we saw last night.
Like it happens. Like this is just like I remember Alain Vigneault would say this. And when there was and by the way, when's the last time you had a conversation about shrinking goaltending equipment?
It's true.
Remember how fixated we were of, the equipment's too. I can't tell you the last time I had that conversation.
No.
Because to Alain Vigneault's point, when he was coaching the Rangers, he said, he was asked about shrinking the equipment. He said, stop. If you want players to score more goals, players have to go work on their shot. They have to go like. Goalies in the offseason would go and work on their craft. They would work on becoming goaltenders. That was, again, the rise of the goaltender. And it wasn't until like a couple of guys, had a shooting instructor in Victoria that started to change all of this. And players just didn't go into the offseason and lift and get their strength back. They did that, but they also worked on shooting and skills and skating. And now it's advantage shooter. And we don't talk about making the nets bigger anymore. Because they can all shoot.
No.
Because it's something that can be taught.
Yeah, we came close to that.
One of the things I always appreciated about AV, like there was no bullshit. He had no time for excuses and things like that. He was great on the big picture stuff. Yeah. So
my favorite,
what do you
if I can interject really quickly, my favorite thing when he was talking about goaltending, and he said, look, guys, hockey is really easy. It goes like this. If your goaltender is better than my goaltender, you win. If my goaltender is better than your goaltender, I win. It's that easy, guys. That's hockey. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The end.
We heard that line from time to time.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
We heard many other lines from AV as well.
En français.
I miss him.
Is that it, guys? En français. So do you think there's any wisdom for the Canucks and Steven Stamkos at this stage of the game with where he's at in his National Hockey League career?
Yeah.
He's 35 years old. He's got a no-move clause and a few years left at $8 million.
And 1 goal.
1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points after 12 games for Steven Stamkos. It's not a good fit. It's not working. I know life away from Point and Kucherov is tough. I still do have a hard time believing what I'm seeing, considering he left Tampa scoring 40 goals. And I know you're not playing with the traveling all-star team anymore, but I know he's 35, and when it happens, it can happen suddenly. I just never saw it with Stamkos, and that's why I still think that not for the full ticket. Like, make no mistake about it. Like, we're talking like a $4 million Stamkos here. I could wonder about the Vancouver Canucks. And I could wonder, now that Patrick Laine is out, I could wonder about the Montreal Canadiens too, with Steven Stamkos. But something probably has to give here, unless he turns this thing around suddenly. And that's a tough loss again last night against the Philadelphia Flyers. But there's a lot of big questions around Nashville right now.
I was going to say, the Stamkos contract might be the undoing of Barry Trotz's general manager project with the Nashville Predators. Because I think the best coach the Nashville Predators have in their organization, with no disrespect to Andrew Brunette, is Barry Trotz.
Yes, the guy up top. So I was mentioning this on the sheet yesterday. Is that where this is all heading? That Barry Trotz coaches the Preds? I know that, and specifically last year when things were coming off the wagon, Barry Trotz went out of his way to mention, we are not firing Andrew Brunette. I am not hanging this one on him. Barry was obviously a coach. He's very sensitive about firing coaches. We all understand that. But does it not does it feel to you guys the same way that it does to me, that that's where this thing is heading? to the most successful coach that the Nashville Predators ever had going behind the bench. And I'm not talking about like a dual role here. Maybe it's a shared responsibility more with Brian Poyle, who's been with the organization in either, player development or as an assistant general manager going back to, I think, 2018, maybe a co-GM. So I don't know how you would I don't know how you would put it together, but it does feel to me like the next one here is Barry Trotz goes behind the bench.
Well,
I'm not reporting that. I'm not saying that that's even up for discussion. This is just me on your show wondering, what can the Preds do at this point? And would it make sense to say, you know what, it's not working with Andrew Burnett for whatever reason. Barry, it's yours to run again.
Well, and it's people who are owners of sports franchises tend to run big operations apart from the sports franchise, and they tend to concern themselves with things like, am I putting my people in positions to succeed? Do I have the proper personnel in the proper leadership files? And so if you were to tell me that the Nashville Predators ownership, after a dreadful season last year and struggles this year, looks at it and goes, okay, so what are we doing wrong here? That will be the thing that sticks out more than anything else.
Why did Stamkos and Marchessault look at that roster and say, that is the roster for us?
With no centers.
And it's also the cast of Cocoon. Like, everybody that is supposed to mean something to that franchise is 34 and up. Like, it's an unbelievable roster to look at. Like, how do they think that they are poised for future success?
Wilford Brimley skating left wing.
When you're and I think he was only like 50 at that moment.
I know.
There's a wonderful Twitter account. There's a wonderful Twitter account about the Wilford Brimley passing the Wilford Brimley mark. How old? And it shows all these young people who were younger.
Brad Pitt is like 10 years older
he's
than
way
Wilford Brimley.
Past the Wilford Brimley line. The Brimley Cocoon line. When Cocoon reached theaters on June 21st, 85, Wilford Brimley was 18,530 days old. Here we make note of people who have reached that age.
Hang on, how old is that? You know how old that is in years?
I will get it for you in a second.
Okay, figure out that. So let me talk about Stamkos, Marchessault.
Jeff, I got news for you.
Mix as well. Oh no,
it's 50 years, 0.76.
He was 50. Yeah.
Blake, I believe you've passed the Wilford Brimley.
Oh, I've passed it. I
still got a ways to go, Mike. We're still safe.
I'm feeling so good about myself right now, boys.
Seriously. This is a tempo.
I'm going to run a marathon after this hit, boys. I'm feeling really good about myself right now. Okay, Stamkos and Marchessault.
Yeah.
One, I think that Nashville is a very attractive place to live. First of all, it is a first-class organization. It always has been. Going back to their inception, they've always populated that organization with really good people. It's an attractive place, and players will all tell you this. Like, you were treated so well in Nashville at every single level. Even as a media member, they've always been a delight, first class to work with. There are a lot of attractive things about living there, and as the team continued to grow and get better and better, it became even more attractive. There is the state tax issue as well, which makes it more attractive to players, and I can't necessarily speak to Stamkos on this one issue, but with someone like Marchessault, and the other team that I think he was considering was the Anaheim Ducks. I think those were the main two, was Anaheim and Nashville. He has kids that are high-end hockey players. And not to say that the Junior Ducks organization isn't a high-end minor/youth hockey organization, because it is. But Nashville has really put together, much like, Kiefer Sherwood came from, the Ohio Blue Jackets, AAA organization. And that's a great one that Doug McLean helped start when Columbus came in on the scene. But I think that was part of the consideration for Marchessault. And this is one of the things that we never take into consideration with veteran players when they choose markets, players that have kids. Generally, those players, those young kids, are good players. They got the genes, they have all the access to equipment and ice time and training and all these types of things. So it matters. Like, can my kid play high-level hockey here? and that is one of the boxes you check when you join the Nashville Predators. The Junior Preds organization, there's two organizations that run next to each other. It's a really healthy youth hockey environment. I would have to think that would have been part of the consideration for Jonathan Marchessault as well. But you're right. Like, you look down the middle as far as being competitive, and I'm not sure whether Stamkos looked at it and said, well, maybe this is my return to the middle. Maybe this is Steven Stamkos going back to center. I don't know. But there are, I do understand players that want to go there. Great place to live, great organization, and great for kids, specifically those that play hockey.
Ryan O'Reilly, incidentally, is having a decent start to the season, guys. He's no new move clause. Now, obviously he's wearing a letter there, but, if the Canucks were looking for second-line help, I mean, I know people have poo-pooed Ryan O'Reilly, too old, too slow. He's only got a year and a half left on this contract. It's not the biggest risk.
Quite digestible, and he's younger than Stamkos.
I always think of the old line, too old, too slow, too good. That's Joe Pavelski.
Yep.
We always say about Joe, he's too old, he's too slow, 45 goals.
Yep.
Too old, too slow, too good.
Okay, big question. Big question. Important question.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
And I guess it's a little different for you guys back east because the game starts at 8, and if your kids are young enough, you can certainly be done the trick-or-treating and in front of the television for the World Series game. But game 6 or trick-or-treating, what's your plan tonight, bro?
I got a third option. My kids got practice.
Oh,
Halloween practice. 2 kids have bailed. This is my 13-year-old, or as Matt likes me to say, my 2012. He's got practice, and so I think all the parents will be in the saloon at the rink. We're at Westwood, for those of you who know the Toronto area, in the West End. We're at Westwood Arena, so all the parents will be there, and will probably drag their kids into the bar to watch it. We're going to try to scoop home to catch as much of it as we can. But
now that is parenting.
I will be drinking bad coffee, sniffing Zamboni fumes.
Hey.
That is my night.
Hey, 2012, find me in the bar after you get changed, all right, son?
2012.
My 2012. You know you're a hockey guy when you refer to your child who has a name as my 2012.
Before you go, we have to update your New York Islanders file because you talked about Cal Ritchie.
Okay.
He almost made his NHL debut last night, but he couldn't get to the ring.
Cal Ritchie file?
Because
first of all, yeah.
The people,
I know,
the
I know.
Islanders fans on Twitter did not take this well.
His flight was delayed because of weather. Couldn't get there. But all this is because of Barzal. So let's focus on that as we try to help out Jim Rutherford and company here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Jim, no. It's a one-off, Blake.
Well,
Blake,
except
don't
that
read too much into it.
No,
Trying to get
Matt,
Barzal to
there is
Vancouver.
reporting on this already that this may not be the first time for Barzal, that this may be a frustration for the New York Islanders that goes back a time. Is this the kind of thing that could corrupt a relationship there on Long Island?
I don't know that they would choose Patrick Waugh over Matthew Barzal if it came to it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Normally, when you have these types of situations, the manager needs to make a decision here. If it comes down to coach or the player, sometimes the coach wins that. We've seen it before. Sometimes the coach wins it. Generally, the players tend to win a lot of the wars.
Yeah. Well, what if the player is pretty upset about the action? Is more the question I'm asking.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think that's baked into the pie, though. Right? Like, everybody knows at this point.
Do they, though?
You're late.
When's the last time this has happened?
Practice, the bus? Yeah. Broken alarm clocks happen. I don't know that that's going to lead to Matthew Barzal storming out.
Yeah.
I could be way off base here. I just can't see it. Not from someone as steeped in hockey as Barzal is. I have a hard. I mean, everyone sort of understands the consequences of showing up late to places.
I just want to know what his alternate captain, Bo Horvat, told him for free after he missed that team bus, okay? Because you don't do that on Bo's watch. Lastly,
that's a very good point.
The Easter egg, the Jeff Marek Easter egg. John Tavares scores his 500th NHL goal this week. How many active NHLers, and Blake, feel free to play along, how many active NHLers have 500 or more goals, and who are they?
There's a guy in Washington.
Indeed. Who, by the way, is 1 goal shy of 900, everybody. Will be the first 900 goal scorer in the National
Where is
Hockey League.
Stamkos at?
Stamkos, very good, Blake, 583.
Yeah.
You got Tavares. I gave you Tavares. So
Tavares, Is there? We got Malkin.
You've
in
got
that mix?
3. You do not have Malkin, but you do now at 517.
And
Do
we're
we
sitting.
have?
Very good, Blake. Sidney Crosby, 633. You've
Sid?
exhausted the list.
That's it.
5. Patrick Kane is 6 away.
Really, eh? I was going to say, what about Kane? The injured Patrick Kane. Is Patrick Kane on that list? No,
Patrick
eh?
Kane is just shy, should get there at some point in November, I would think, if not in December.
Can I mention one thing? Can I mention one thing? Speaking of John Tavares and previously the New York Islanders fans treated me like John Tavares on social media this week.
Yes, they
Oh
did.
my God.
For the Cal Ritchie conversation. It was
we
like,
told
I was
Mike-
getting speed bagged.
We
No, and
told
listen,
Mike
listen.
it was a pretty
No,
slutty caption on Mike's part. We have
No,
already
no.
admonished him for that.
No. I will not do that. No. Mike, good for you. That's fine. Put the cheese in the trap. I get it. That's how you catch the mice. That's totally fine.
cheese
I
in the
get it.
trap.
No problem. But like,
Who's
I
gonna
thought,
cheese the trap? We started talking about pizzas. We might as well end on cheese.
Now we're finishing off talking about cheese. Yeah. I know people don't tend to not get past the headline. I just want to say thank you to the people that originally, because listen, we all live our lives publicly, right? Like you gotta understand. Like I understand that if you stick your head up above a crowd, someone's gonna throw a stone. I get it. That's fine. Get it all day on Twitter. No problem. That's it's the line from The Godfather. This is the business we chose. So I understand that. I just want to say thank you to all the people that initially flamed me for it, and then went and actually watched the video and came back and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should have."
There were a few of them who
double
said,
barrel on you.
I saw one who went, "I'm such an idiot. I didn't listen to the clip or read the captioning. I'm sorry."
Incidentally, on the Easter egg, the current superstars are 100 away. Austin Matthews, Leon Draisaitl, 407, 406.
Pasternak?
So.
Yeah.
Pasternak, same thing, 398.
They'll get there.
100 away.
Yeah.
Bonus points. Where does Dave Andrechuk rank on the all-time goal scoring list?
He's got 640.
Oh wow!
You're looking this up.
I'm not.
He's got 640 on
What
the
does he
nose.
have?
Does he really?
There's
you
no
ser-
fucking way.
I-
You must have a
Blake,
page.
I've got
Mike,
active.
check his
I've got
damn
active
machine.
only. This is active.
640 is correct. Where does that rank?
Okay.
7th.
Jeff? Lower than 7th.
What does
Fifth.
lower mean?
No. Higher than 7th.
Oh, 10th.
15th.
Is it really 640? 's 50?
Okay, hang on a
He's
second.
the next guy
Hang on,
Crosby catches.
there's-
Think of the career that Sidney Crosby has caught. Dave Andrechuk on Halloween 2025 has more goals than Sidney Crosby.
Here's what I want to know, and there's no answer to this, nor will there ever be. But just imagine all of you who remember Dave Andrechuk and how he played and how he scored his goals. If you took every single one of Dave Andrechuk's goal and measured how far it traveled until it crossed the red line and put it all in a straight line, would it be the length of a rink?
Yeah.
Not much.
It's a great
longer.
question.
Come on.
Not much longer.
Would it get you around the block? No.
He would just be like in the blue paint jam. Like, listen, that's hard because you got in Dave Andrechuk. I'm sure every time he rolls out of bed, he feels like all those goals that he scored on my back. But like, he was the master of like the 1.5-foot goal. Tim Kerr, Dino Ciccarelli, Holmstrom, all these guys.
Yeah,
But Dave Andrechuk was like that. When he planted his stick in front of the net and bent over,
You weren't
like,
moving
there was
it.
moving
No.
that guy.
No.
You weren't moving him. Not moving him.
Great hit. Thank you for
Pizza.
this. Enjoy
Pizza.
Halloween, the baseball, and the 2012 practice and the bar after.
See ya.
2012. I love it. I love it.
So Harrison Price from the historic Wall Center. Well, just a huge game on Saturday. No two ways about it. Vancouver Whitecaps FC at FC Dallas. A victory gets them into the MLS Western Conference semifinals. And joining us now is the MLS Defender of the Year. Congratulations, Tristan Blackman. On a huge award, and the first one for the Whitecaps League Award, that is, since 2014. Appreciate the time. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Good start to the morning so far. So. Happy to be here.
Tell me, what did getting Defender of the Year mean to you?
Yeah, a lot. I think I think it shows you that people are recognizing the work that you're putting in. And the biggest thing for me is it's a group award, in my opinion. I'm not just one guy that does the defensive, side of the work in the team. It's a whole collective. So, I feel really honored to receive the award, obviously. But, happy for the club and to represent them on the biggest stage for the MLS Awards at the end of the year. So.
Interesting way that the club informed you via your better half, baking a cookie cake for you. The social media video is out there if you're interested. But tell us about it. Your partner, Allie, let you know you were at home.
Yeah, no, we were just hanging out in the morning. She does food blogging stuff regularly, so I didn't really think anything of it, to be honest. But yeah, she was making something up. I was kind of just hanging around, and after she had finished the final touches on the cake, she asked me to come over and take a look at it, and I was like, is something special going on? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's just a normal cake, right? And I could kind of tell she was getting a little bit choked up. And so I went over there. I was like, is everything all right? What's going on? Do you know something that I don't know? Because I saw the lettering on the cake eventually. And yeah, she's like, you did it, and it was really nice that we were able to share that moment together before kind of the whole whirlwind of finding out on social media and everything. So yeah, I really appreciated that we were able to share that together.
We didn't know what to expect when you were acquired way back when. When you were a member of LAFC, did you think these heights were possible? Were these the dreams that were in your head?
Yeah, I've always believed in myself 100%. I think coming here, it was a huge move for me. I think my time in LA had come to an end, and it was probably the right thing to do at that point. But yeah, I have no idea what to expect coming to Vancouver and a new team and a new environment with a bunch of players I'd never played with before. But being here, this is my 4th year now. Built incredible relationships with all the guys and the people around the facility, the staff. So yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but I think it's gone in a really good direction, and I'm really happy and proud about that.
You said it was a team award. The center back chaos has really ramped up recently, but there's been a rotation back there. You've had to learn chemistry with some other guys. Generally, it's been Ranko, of course, but there has been some chaos at the position. And what do you make of the ability of yourself and your teammates to just roll with these punches?
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I think the best teams every year show how little change happens when you move guys in and out of the lineup. It's been extremely seamless throughout the year. Obviously, there's hiccups here and there. People have to get game minutes and get used to it. But I think everybody's done such a good job who's had to step up when guys are missing. And we've said it all year. What a team this has been to be a part of this year with the new coaching staff and just getting everybody bought into the same identity and what we want to do every day on the field. And I think you can see that when guys step up who maybe haven't been playing that often. So, yeah, all the defenders who have played this year, I could, list tons of guys who have stepped up.
We do actually every week on this show list everybody
it's been great to see.
No, Bilal sat the whole first half of the year, and he's been great since he stepped in.
Priso's played there several times now as an emergency. Yeah. Hey, Tristan, you mentioned you've been here many years. You were here when times weren't that good, and so were a lot of your teammates, man. Like, we sit here and we look at this team week to week, and we just talk about how much the individual players have improved on a year-to-year basis. Like, you're making an all-star team, you're getting called up to the U.S. men's national team, you're winning a league award, like Seb is winning the team MVP. Like, talk to me about how this all happened, that so many guys seem to improve individually so much over this past season.
Yeah, I think when you look at big sports franchises, the one that comes to mind right away is the Sounders, and just thinking of how many players return every year and how consistent they are in competing for trophies. I think that's huge when you have a core group that really sticks together through a lot of ups and downs. And I think the core group here, not only on the field, but off the field, we've gotten so close to one another. And since the jump, I think Seba has spoke about this in the media before, but I think it was early on our first year, we were walking through the airport and we realized there was no Whitecaps merch kind of anywhere to be purchased. And it just seemed like it was, obviously the Canucks are here and the BC Lions are a big deal. But we were like, we should make that a point to, by the time we're done here, however many years that is, that should be a goal of ours to make sure that Whitecaps are a team that are respected and people look forward to going to games, and we change the culture. And I think you're starting to see that come to fruition. It's been a whirlwind of time here. Obviously, the first few years were up and down a little bit more than this year was. But I think when you have a lot of guys commit to the same goal and you keep a lot of them together, you're seeing what happens. And it's been really incredible to be a part of, to be honest.
So is there
tear to the eye there? That was a good answer. My goodness.
Is there Whitecaps gear in the airport now?
There better be.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I've been out for a little bit, so I haven't been traveling. But hopefully, if not the end of this year, I would think maybe next year, beginning of next year, there should be some gear in there.
Hey, if you win MLS Cup, they should put a team store.
That's right. Never mind a little bit of the merch. Further to that, that's one way to make sure that stuff gets in there is winning a trophy, of course. And we'd like to know if you are taking part. How's it? We know that you're back training. You could make the argument, hey, you guys are getting away with it right now. Just try to win this series, give you and Brian 3 more weeks of rehab and rest, but I'm sure you're champing at the bit to get in. How do you weigh those two, the risk of coming back versus, wanting to get in there?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part, right? Is obviously as a competitor, you want to be part of everything. So when you're injured, especially when you're closer to being back, you really have to think about the right time to do things. So I think just in conversation with the coaching staff and the athletic training staff, we're definitely trying to find the right moment to do that. I'll only speak for myself, but I feel like I'm definitely getting close to being back. I don't know what that looks like, when that'll be, but like you said, if we handle business this week, it's going to give a lot of guys a little bit more time to get their legs back under them. And I think that'll be really important going into the stretch. So.
For strikers that are injured and coming back, I think 10, 15 minutes at the end of a game can be helpful because they're likely to get some touches, especially on a good team. For a defender, is it as helpful to get 10 minutes at the end of a game this week?
Yeah, it's just interesting. Usually it's not a position that really gets subbed out too much unless obviously something happens. But yeah, I think minutes can help. I think, just high intense training can help as well. So if you get a few weeks of just really good training, that can do a lot. But yeah, I think you can always argue both sides. I think just being on the field is the biggest thing.
You guys were going so good, and then here comes Axel Schuster delivering serial winner, football legend Thomas Müller to your change room, Tristan. What did the guys think when they first heard that Müller was coming over? Especially since you guys had proven you were a pretty good team before
on your own,
him.
Yeah, no. I think at first it was an initial shock, just like, wow, is this actually happening, or is this kind of just like the media, putting
silly
stuff
media.
Yeah.
In fairness, we thought it was silly media. When Alexei Lala said it at the All-Star game, we're like, I don't know about that.
How true could that be? No, to be fair, they've done an incredible job. I don't know the ins and outs of the deals and whatever, but the biggest thing is the impact he's made since being here. It's so clear to see just the level he's at, the leadership qualities that he has and has tried to instill in players since being here for just a short amount of time. It's definitely lifted the group. Like you said, we were doing well before he got here, but I think it's definitely taken us to a new level with his acquisition. So.
What's it been like to have Ryan around as well? Like when you think of dropping those two into the lineup here in the last half of the season, I mean, you must feel like you've pressed the turbo button here.
I mean, just the last few years, you've seen, Gauldy's ability to change games individually and then how much he works for the team. I think there was always that thing said about him. He was the working class DP. It's just he works so hard every single day. And throughout this year, obviously, it's been a rough go just with the injury and dealing with that and return to play. And it's so huge to have him back in the group. He means so much to, not only the players, but the city as well and the club. So hopefully we can keep getting him more and more minutes going into the final period here.
Last question from me, Tristan. It's a tough one. Heard a rumor that you're the most fashion-forward guy on the club. True or false?
I don't want to claim any of that. I mean, that's all up to, opinions, but I like to think that I have an idea of what I'm putting on every morning.
Who's in the vicinity? Who's in
your league?
Who's in the league?
Give us another contender at least.
I would say honorable mention, Seba has really stepped it up this year.
Yeah. He's got to dress like a star now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're an all-star now. Start dressing like it.
No, a lot of guys dress well. I think Sabi dresses really well. Bilal has really good fits, especially for game day.
Yeah.
Rios has good fits. I mean, a lot of guys.
Okay, let's go to the other end. Who just doesn't give a rat's ass?
Yeah.
I don't want to throw anybody in.
No, you can. You can. It's fine.
Nobody listening.
I'll say it's not that I don't like what he wears, but I'm not a Lululemon guy, and this might hurt me in the media or deals in the future. Okay, I'll live with that. But Tate wears a lot of Lulu stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just it's not my vibe, but he looks great in it.
It's comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say him. Not even that it's like a bad thing. It's just I wouldn't.
He's not disheveled. He just goes more utilitarian.
Tristan, they can't all be Showtime, Mr. Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, right.
Some of them are products of their environment that isn't quite as glitzy and glamorous. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Tristan.
Awesome conversation, my man. Congratulations on all your individual success. We have so enjoyed watching this team play this year. Airtight defensively, beautiful offensively. Looking forward to this run. Good luck in Dallas.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Secure some price from the historic Wall Center and the Pacific Toyota Dealer Studio built by Arbor Lee. Oh, game night? Make it a game weekend.
This would be
the one to do. Turn that ticket into a downtown getaway.
You might need 2 nights. You might need Friday, Saturday.
Special secure some price rate here at the Wall. Book now, 604-331-1000. Just say you heard it here. Some blackout dates do apply based on availability. Finishing up on Tristan Blackman and the Whitecaps. Missed this quote from earlier in the week from Jesper Sorensen. And he was talking about his study of the Whitecaps personnel in January when he was back in Denmark and not yet the coach. Quote, when I started studying the team, my eyes really fell on Tristan because he looked to have great potential. He's matured as a player and become even more noticeable. There's a variety of things he can do well. He can defend the backspace with his speed. He's strong in duels in the air and on the ground. He's very, very good at taking the ball up and can play breakthrough passes and attack the next line and open up the opposition's pressure with playing through some lines inside as well. I got to say, I was gobsmacked when they fired Vanni Sartini, and I thought it was a sliver of a chance that they would do better with a new coach. And this guy Sorensen has gotten so much out of this roster, and individuals have improved by leaps and bounds. My hat's off to him. He should absolutely be the MLS Coach of the Year.
And
it's one of the great coaching jobs I've watched in 25 years in this business.
And obviously that's the more important thing is the actual coaching, but not to be outdone, while not rambunctious and exuberant quite to the Vanni Sartini level, he's a good communicator. He does it in his own way, but he communicates. He's a good face for the team. He's spoken eloquently, and so he's touched them all. And
he just seems like a solid human.
Yeah, and he's extracted every ounce out of all these players.
Expecting Blackman off the bench tomorrow if he plays versus FC Dallas. He trained all week with the team. You heard him there earlier. Pupa.
Yeah.
Jodrik Pupa or Ralph Priso at center back. Ocampo held out yesterday as a precaution after he left training following a collision earlier this week.
They could just replug the back line in. If Ocampo is okay, they could just go Tate, Laborda, Halbuni, Ocampo again. But we don't know how good Ocampo is.
Yeah, if Ocampo can't go.
Couldn't possibly.
A possibility I shalln't. Laborda at right back, but that only stresses the personnel at center back. Ryan Gauld says he's good to go, but that's another limited minutes situation, likely off the bench, maybe 30, 45 minutes. Caps advance with the win. A loss sets up Game 3, a deciding Game 3 here at BC Place next Friday. Remember, we go straight to penalties. If this game is tied after 90 minutes, the game is available this weekend on TSN. TSN, can you just put all the Whitecaps playoff games on television?
Not their call. If it does go to PKs, and I don't think
why isn't it their call?
Because they don't have the say. It's whatever Apple
okay.
they've agreed to with Apple. If it does go to penalties, incidentally, love who they've got. Like Ryan Gauld's Mr. Automatic from the spot, and we know the Ramboider is too.
Müller, yeah, come on.
So, you've got two guarantees there. And Tristan Blackman, incidentally, has been damn good at penalties in his tenure. He won a Canadian championship. So that's a possibility. We'll see.
The referee, and of course, we always note the referee going into a Whitecaps playoff game because of the events 2 years ago against LAFC. The referee is Tori Penso.
Yes.
Blake, you've called games that she's officiated, a thought or two on how Tori tends to administer the proceedings.
Yeah, in my gut reaction, she tends to be a little bit more noticeable out there, but I've looked at her last 20 games here. There's like 2 red cards in 20 games, 1 penalty. So she's actually stayed out of the mix. She's a little yellow heavy on the road team. I'm looking at that. The Whitecaps were on the road in Sporting KC a few weeks back. They got 5 yellows. KC got 2. But I'm looking at, wow, the road teams are just always getting 4 or 5, and the home teams are getting 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
Got to be careful.
Nothing marginal tomorrow, Whitecaps. BC Lions tomorrow versus Calgary at BC Place. 2:30 kickoff to the CFL's West Division semifinal. The Leos announced their roster today. Defensive stalwarts Gary Peters and Jonah Tavai are back on. Lions players are some upset that Tavai didn't make the West Division All-Star team. Peters is the leader of that secondary. He's technically a game-time decision after missing last week. Sadly, Dejon Allen can't go at right tackle, so Chris Slugger is back on the roster and will fill in there. Stampeders making 6 changes coming off their win versus Edmonton last week. 5 of them are starters. Delta's Jalen Philpott back at receiver after receiving the Stamps Community Service Award this month. If that name sounds familiar, yes, he is the son of Corey Philpott, the former Great Lion. Former league most outstanding defensive player Lorenzo Malden is back at defensive end for Calgary. Their offensive right tackle William Barnes returns, plus 2 starters in the secondary, Sheldon Arnold and Anthony Johnson Jr. The winner heads to Regina next Saturday to face the Riders in the West Division final. Bet365 has BC as a 5-point favorite tomorrow. Farhan reporting the club is north of 26,000 tickets sold. That was last night.
Yeah.
They have opened up the upper deck, including additional sections, actually. Seems a little wishful, maybe. Canucks start at 4, Jays maybe at 5 in Game 7. Some competing sporting interest.
Whitecaps at 6:30.
And then, of course, the weather as well. So we'll see if they can crest 30,000 as they have in each of the last two playoff games, both against Calgary, both at BC Place 2023.
Weather's supposed to be better tomorrow, by the way.
Well, better, but still.
But speaking of the Western Final, Matt, if you're the Riders and the BC Lions win again in the semi, rest versus rest thing has been an enduring debate in the CFL forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this would be the ultimate litmus test because you got a team on a 7-game heater coming into your barn if the Lions win.
Yep.
Would you rather have played somewhere the week before or just sitting tidy watching that bowling ball coming towards you?
I think you're rooting Calgary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're the right, not because of any other reason, really, because of that, than that.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum of the BC Lions would be impossible to ignore.
Game 6 of the World Series tonight, where Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes for a third consecutive complete game in the postseason. We haven't seen that in nearly a quarter century.
Don't like it.
To keep the Dodgers alive and force a deciding Game 7 tomorrow. The Blue Jays counter with Kevin Gausman. George Springer is back in the lineup after missing 2 games with that oblique injury that forced him out of Game 3. Lots of intrigue on who will throw the ceremonial first pitch at Rogers Center tonight. Joe Carter, Cito Gaston did the duties in Games 1 and 2 respectively. The internet speculation is about Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Canadian baseball icon, great Montreal Expo, to his son, Vladdy Jr. Pat Borders and Paul Molitor, the 2 Blue Jays World Series MVPs. Maybe Molitor 2 Borders.
I like that one. I like that.
Or I think the guy that you can argue is the public face of the Toronto Blue Jays over their near 50-year history as a former player, manager, and, of course, longtime broadcaster and cancer survivor. He's had a battle here over the last 2 years, Buck Martinez.
He might not want to insert himself into that.
I
don't know.
So it's funny because, look, obviously he's rooting for the Blue Jays. He has not been the biggest homer, certainly early in his career. He was by no means the biggest homer on the mic, Blake.
No.
He's gotten more homery as the years have gone on here. And now they have the camera on him and Schulman calling the games. You do see him fist pumping and things like that. But you're right. Buck is a pro's pro. And the other thing about Buck is he came up in that environment with Tom Cheek and Jerry Howarth, where they were very, very sort of particular about the role of broadcasters calling the game. But no, I think he'd say yes if they asked. And I think he'd bring the house down.
You think so? Yeah.
Oh,
he's loved for sure. I'm not debating that.
I don't think there are many figures more beloved in Blue Jays history than Buck because
I think Cito and Joe were it.
Well, no, but if you're a diehard Blue Jays fan, Buck is in your living room 6 out of 7 nights a week during the season, right?
Yeah.
Cito's there from time to time. Joe's there from time to time. Borders is quite the character. We had him on the show a few months ago after his appearance at the Nat for a Superstar series at the Nat. Molitor, not exactly the biggest character. But I could see Pat catching the ball from Paul and then just whipping up the crowd. He's absolutely that personality.
How about Rance Molnix?
Oh, please. Well, the other guy I wondered, now, he's not front-faced. Paul Beeston, no one has met. Nobody has meant more. No, I don't think you can go with a suit. But, nobody has meant more to the franchise in baseball in Toronto than Paul Beeston. He's the first employee of the club. So he's got the deepest history. The last time Game 6 of the World Series was held at Rogers Center, then Skydome, Joe Carter hit a walk-off home run to win the championship. 1993. Touch 'em all, Joe. Watch the clip today, Blake, and every single hair on my arm stood up. Then I fired up OK Blue Jays. was once known for singing that fight
It
song.
also struck me how ugly Skydome looked back then.
Yeah. You got a diamond. You got 9 men.
Okay.
You got a hat and a bat. And that's not all. Come on, all together now. You got a bleachers. You got them Springdale Fall.
Also, the problem with that song is it's too damn long. Like they needed to make that like a
the second verse
2-minute
is
song.
clunky and really, with the passage of time, in hindsight, is probably unnecessary.
Yeah.
When I had to sing it at Nat Bailey all those years ago to make good on my gentleman's agreement with Andy Dunn.
Yeah.
He doesn't like when I use the other word because that's verboten in baseball.
No, totally.
He says to me as I go out there, 6th inning, he goes, look, you just sing the first verse and then we get to the chorus, okay?
Yeah.
And he goes, you don't even sing the whole first verse, just the first few bars.
Yes.
And, we don't have a lot of time here. It's minor league baseball. We don't have
gotta go.
breaks between innings. And the fans got behind it.
Robbie Alomar, first pitch.
The problem with Robbie is
He's had a weird denouement. But you're just out there to throw the ball. Like there's no interview. You're just out there to throw the damn ball.
I still think Robbie is a little toxic for them.
Yeah.
Ravens beat the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Miami fires general manager Chris Greer today. He's the brother of San Jose Sharks GM Mike Greer. So no more brothers running teams in different leagues. It was a good story while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised the head coach, McDaniel, survived, but the owner there, Stephen Ross, has said that via Adam Schefter, they're going to keep the coach. Schefter and Ross are big Michigan guys. In fact, Miami drafted a defensive tackle in the first round this year from Michigan, and I think the owner's fingerprints are all over that selection. And quite frankly, when you have octogenarian owners making the draft picks, that explains why you are where you are. And I like the player too, but you left some pretty good guys on the board. Seahawks host Washington on Sunday Night Football. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, he's back, he's healthy, he will start versus the Seahawks. He has missed a couple of games here.
That's still a good sign for the Seahawks. He's coming back, yes, but is he going to be hitting on all cylinders? Probably
we'll see. L.A. Rams, who, of course, Seattle's tied with atop the NFC West, they host New Orleans, so it's pretty much guaranteed win for the Rams. Seattle is going to have to get this victory on the road in their nation's capital, I think, to stay atop the division. San Francisco's at the Giants. The Giants without Cam Scatterbo, the fantastic rookie. So who knows? Maybe they jump into the fray as well here. Results of the Redwoods Golf Course poll question from Thursday. We asked you, was trading for Evander Kane instead of re-signing Pius Suter a mistake? Yes, no, or jury still out. People said?
Yes.
Percentage?
54.
I would have thought it would have been in that range too, Blake. 79%.
Wow.
Now, most of the votes came in before last night's game, and Evander, as we've talked about, was excellent.
Oh, even so.
Night. No got just 7% of the vote. Jury still out, 14%. Sean, does a bear shit in the woods? We saw a lot of that. Is water wet? Guys, too obvious. John, it was a mistake regardless of Pius Suter. Gord was brave enough to get in the comments with no. Good on Gord. No, bringing back the same group that misses the playoffs 4 out of 5 years is not a plan. Blues aren't crushing it either. Canucks are not a Suter away from an upswing. Not sure they're an Evander Kane away from an upswing either, but...
Did you do Theo's?
No.
Do fish swim? Does a bear shit in the woods? Did you blind yourself shotgunning a beer? All yes. Thank you, Theo.
He's so blinded.
We got it.
But when you shotgunned that beer, did you have beer dribbling down your chin and nice sweater and pooling in your lap? Mike, are you familiar with the Blake shotgun attempt from the Jake Virtanen era?
We'll deal with that off here.
I'm not, no.
Oh, we have something to share with you here in a matter of moments. Oh, I am so pleased. Jerry, the only positive is you are not locked into something beyond this season. Still think there was a better option out there than Kane, though, especially giving up a draft pick and the dollars. Yeah, if you think Boeser is going to fall off the table after this year, then yeah. We signed a 2-year deal in St. Louis. Errors and omissions from yesterday's program and beyond. Patrick Johnson's a columnist now, yo.
Yeah.
Has been for a year. Neglected to mention, and I suppose it stands to reason, because when you're a nominee for Most Outstanding Player, then of course he would be a nominee for Most Outstanding Canadian Player. But Nathan Rourke is, in fact, a 2-award finalist at the CFL Player Award, Most Outstanding Canadian Player. He's already won that one, and then just Most Outstanding Player, period. And I got my weeks mixed up, start times mixed up a little bit yesterday when I said we may have an early show because of the start times next week. No, it's a 4 p.m. game in Minnesota tomorrow. It's 5:30 Monday in Nashville.
We can deal with that.
It's the week after when we've got a 4 p.m. start in Carolina that will go early.
And
on
the
that.
following week as well,
on
the
day,
Friday, Monday, yes.
Exactly, a 4 p.m. start in Florida on the 17th as well. Anything to add? Anything to self-report?
Nothing in the
Anything
box.
from Yurki in the inbox?
No.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate you spending some time connecting with the program. Please do subscribe to all our assorted channels, YouTube in particular, and wherever you get your podcasts. Follow on social, X, Insta, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, live on many of those platforms, noon Pacific time weekdays. And of course, support the community sponsors you hear us talking about. Keep it local.